Watching Tangipahoa Television, local coverage of Independence High versus Kentwood High here in Kentwood, Louisiana. Tonight's game is being brought to you by Community State Bank, Representative Buster Gazzotta, Cook's Cleaners, Sonogra's Friendly Hardware, Central Progressive Bank in Kentwood and Amite, Alessi's in Independence, Ragusa Brothers Building Supplies, J&D Transmission Specialties, AME Chiropractic Center, Dr. Ned Martello, and Custom Tees and Sweats in Hammond. In a moment, you will be watching the kickoff.
For prayer, and please remain standing for the national anthem, played by the Kentwood Kangaroos Band. May we bow our heads. Father God, we come thanking you for this evening. We come asking you for your blessing upon this contest. We ask that you would bless the players. We ask that you would protect them from injury. Oh, Father, we ask that you would give them a mind to be gracious, whether in victory or in defeat. Then, oh, Father, when the game is over, we ask that you would just carry us all safely back to our various destinations. This we ask in Jesus' name. Amen.
That was your Kentwood High School marching band playing the national anthem. Independence Tigers taking the field.
Kangaroo versus the Independent Tigers.
Here come the Kentwood Kangaroos. Independence kicking off to Kentwood.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to tonight's football game. We've already introduced the Independence Tigers and the Kentwood Kangaroos. With you now is Mickey Trish. I'll be doing the play-by-play with my partner in crime here doing the color, Benny Latino.
How you doing, Mickey? Tell you what, we got an exciting ball game here tonight. Two real high-powered offenses in the kickoff. Kicking off for Independence is number 74, Mike Benton. It's a short kick to the up man for 41. Albert Baptiste. And Albert Baptiste takes it up to the 40-yard line.
Like number 60 on the ball, the power.
About an 8-yard return by Baptiste. That's where the Kangaroos will set up shop. I think you'll hear in our left ear, right up here, we're by a speaker again. We just have the best of luck the last couple of years in being spotted right next to loudspeakers, but we'll make the most of it. We'll set the opening, the backfield for you. Of course, the man who starts everything for Kentwood is quarterback Terrell Hookfin. And behind him, line up with the single backfield, is number 30. It looks like number 35. He's not on our roster, but we think that's Toefield. The give is to Toefield. First man through. He hit immediately at the line of scrimmage and dropped by number 72. Looks like Chris Thompson with the big hit on Quentin Hookfin.
Hookfin on the carry.
Tell you what, it was just a straight-up dive up the middle, and Hookfin hit it. Hookfin didn't get any yardage on that. The big man, number 72, Chris Thompson, made it to the line of scrimmage. I tell you what, this Independence line is a pretty big one.
Well, that's the strength of the Independence team, Benny, and it's going to be the strength all night. One thing you're going to look for tonight is Coach Baglio is going to be dropping in 6 defensive backs every now and then as we line up in the I. Hookfin rolls to the right, and a bullet fired incomplete, 12-yard gain. But no, he drops the ball. Well, right in the breadbasket. But just number 83, Eric Carter drops it. That was a pretty good rollout, pretty good play. I'm sure that David Curry wish he could have that one back. That should have been a first down. Instead, it'll bring up 3rd and 10 with 11:14 left in the first quarter.
Right there, Hookfin just rolled out to his right, and the receiver rolled inward, found the open seam in the zone, hit him right there. It was a nice pass. Just hit him in the basket, and he dropped it.
I think the defense looked like they were going to respond to a rolling out Hookfin, who took him last year for 29 yards and a touchdown late in the game. This time he's going to drop back, quarterback draw. Pretty good block by number 69 there. He's going to pick it up with a 14-yard gain. Boy, it looked like big number 86, Joe Brown for Independence. He's a big boy, but number 69, that's Kendrick Wilson, the tackle, a junior, 6'1", 175. He got all of big 260 Joe Brown, drove him to the left, and Hookfin sidestepped it to the right and went up the middle, Ben.
I don't know maybe if that was a design draw or not. He just went back there and read nobody was open, pulled in through the line, and picked up the first down. Nice shifty running by the quarterback.
That's going to be the strength. Is his decision making is going to be the strength of the Roos' offensive attack. That might not have been a good decision. He might want to give that one away, so he didn't get the lick on that one. But looked like Marlon Johnson came in from the defensive back to chase him down. We talked to Coach Bagley before the game. He was talking about he may have to play, with the threat of the arm of, respecting the Hookfin's ability to pass the ball. They may be dropping back Joe Harris. He's going to be playing in the linebacker spot, but he may drop back into a six defensive back in the passing downs. But with Hookfin, you never know if it's pass or run.
We got Joe Harrison on defense right now, don't they? Get on the back corner. Hookfin, he's an heir apparent Randall Cunningham. He can run it or throw. He's just a good all-around athlete with a nice touch. Oh, nice play.
Back to pass, and the ball goes in and out. Defended by Torrance Joseph, an all-district player for the Tigers last year. Looked like number 23, Will Dunn. The ball just kind of glazed off his shoulder pads a little bit, but not a bad pass and almost catch.
I'll tell you what, that was a great play. The end receiver looked in, and Hookfin looked him the whole way, and then hit the number 23 going down the field. Will Dunn, it just hit him a little high as contact by the defensive back.
So line up with a single back. Hookfin in the backfield. Hookfin's going to drop back. He's getting a lot of pressure. He steps up. He's got a lot of open space. One man to beat. Can he get him to the sideline? He sure does, but not quite. It's going to be close to the first down, Ben. Looked like number 24 is hog-tied and calling him down. Brewster grabbed him from the top of the shoulder pads. But not before he can get close to the first down. We may get a measurement.
I think we're going to. That's the first they called it a first down for Kentwood. Great decision by Hookfin. He stayed in the pocket for a while, got a little pressure, and didn't hesitate. As soon as he saw the opening to the right side, he took around, ran it out, outran the defensive back to the corner, and just got picked up the first down. Now it's 1st and 10.
And we have the makings of a pretty good drive so far. 1st and 10, ball on about the 37-yard line. Going into Independence territory is Terrell Hookfin. He fakes the middle and he gives the ball around left end. It's number 20, Taruna Cockerham. He's chased down. He looked like he went a long way to maybe get a yard or two. That was Taruna Cockerham. They fake the inside give and they give it a little end around action.
Well, that time Cockerham just had to run everybody out to the end and just beat a couple of guys with defensive backs. Held him only about, well, he picked up about 5 on the carry, it looks to me.
A little more than we give him credit for. The pursuit of the Tigers, it looked a little better than that, but nonetheless, it's 2nd down. 5 yards to go. 9:21 left in the opening quarter. From the eye, give it to the deep back. He looks like he's got the first down easy.
Number 32 on the carry.
Looks like Jerry Taylor going up the middle, crashing off left a little bit, a little upset at himself that he thinks he might have broke that one.
I'll tell you what, nothing flashy about that play. They just went up the middle with the dive, and he carried a few running defensive backs on his back. Thought he had one man to beat to break it to the end zone, but stopped him short right there. It'll be 1st and 10 for the Kentwood Kangaroos.
That's one thing that David Curry was happy about this year's team. He says he's a little bit more physical. He thinks he can kind of mix the run with the pass a little bit. Of course, the pass you got to respect it, and the quickness of Hookfin, but he also has a little bit more physicalness to his offensive line. They line up in the eye. Back drops Hookfin. He's in trouble. Can't find an opening. He's going to be drugged down there. Dragged down, looked like big number 86. Again, Joe Brown. He might have got hooked on one of those plays earlier, but he made a good play coming from the backside to pick up an elusive Hookfin.
Well, that time Joe Brown didn't get sucked in through the inside. He stayed in his spot. Hookfin looked, didn't get any receivers open. He looked down the flats, and he looked deep over the middle, and the defensive backs did a good job of covering the wide receivers.
That'll bring up a second down. About 7 yards to go. Ball sitting on about the 27, 26-yard line. He gives it a second back through. Quentin Hookman. And there's Big Joe Brown again. Joe Brown, I tell you, 6'2", 260. He was in the backfield quick as lightning.
Joe Brown's doing a good job of staying at home and knocking the tight end off his feet. He stayed at home, and they ran the veer right that time, and he tripped up the running back by his toes.
I think that's one of the keys when you have a quarterback like a Britt Jackson or like a Hookman, who reminds you of someone as elusive as Britt Jackson. If you can just stay in your zone, play your area, and not get suckered in on his end around and the fakes, and you're going to be all right as a defense. We got 7.5 remaining. Hookman goes to the line of scrimmage, doesn't like exactly what he sees, calls timeout. That's where we're going to stand. 7:31 left in the first quarter play. We're going to turn it over to Spec for one of our advertisements. Pay a bill here.
First Guarantee Bank support the Kentwood.
We'd like to thank some of our sponsors tonight. This part of the show being brought to you, compliments of Cook's Cleaners of Kentwood, located at 1410 13th Street in Kentwood. You can depend on Benny J. Cook for reliable cleaning. Cook's Cleaners in Kentwood. Also, Representative Buster Gazzardo, your state representative, is happy to provide this service for the people of District 72 and to encourage our young athletes to do their best. Best wishes to the people of District 72 from your state representative, Buster Gazzardo. Community State Bank. Over the years, Community State Bank has been there when you needed them with courteous, professional service and dependability. Community State Bank is proud to support local high school football. You're watching Tanchville Television, coverage of Kentwood versus Independence.
Kind of interesting, Ben. On that timeout, David Curry himself walked out on the playing field and kind of got a little look-see and talked with his offensive staff. The ball snapped. The give is to the H-back on that.
32.
Looks like a fumble. He got all the way through there. Goes number 32. That's big Jerry Taylor again. He rumbles through. He shook off a guy there. It looked like he was going to be stopped about 5 yards and picked up the feet and kept going.
I'll tell you what he did, Mickey. That was just a little counter. Fake one way and go back the other. The hole was open, and the tackle opened up a nice hole. Picked up 5. Then he broke a couple tackles to keep going. That was a great run by number 32, Taylor.
Well, that opened up real nice from our vantage point. The whole left side of the line gave a good push. He just kind of snuck in right off of that. May have even surprised the linebackers there. 6:51. Hookman with a fake. He's not faking anybody there. It looks like number 4, Marlon Johnson, with another big play in this series. That's going to turn the ball over on a big 4th down and 3 of conversion. It stops a very impressive first drive for Kangaroos. But Marlon Johnson, like we were talking, stay at home, and he did his job.
Marlon was blitzing from the outside and just happened to stay in his position. The bootleg didn't work right there. Marlon ran right in to Hookman. It probably surprised him, but he did a good job of staying home, and now it's turned the ball over to the Independence Tigers.
These are the same Independence Tigers last week that racked up 60 points in a 60-6 win.
Number 7 QB for the Tigers.
And now you're going to see the new QB is the same one who started last week, Luke Suarez. He's going to give the pitch to the man of the hour, and the man of the hour is going down real quick.
Talk about staying at home, Mickey. Number 20 for
Taruna Cockerham.
Taruna Cockerham stayed at home. Met Joe Harris at the line of scrimmage. He looked like Joe bowled him over for about 2 yards, so that was a good job on defense.
Second and 11.
I don't know if we can say it, have enough good words to say about a guy like Joe Harris. He's first in the state in rushing yardage. He had 17 carries for 254 yards last week. He's first in touchdowns, 5. He's first in points scored. I think he has 32 points scored. So he's the main man in the attack, make no mistake about it, but Suarez is going to take it and pull it, roll right. He's got a wide open receiver just out of the grut. Looked like he was trying to get to number 21, Ray Collins, out here in the right flat, but he just missed him by maybe about half a foot.
Well, the key to that play was he faked the handoff to Harris up the middle and froze the linebackers and enabled the receiver to get open in the flat. Suarez just missed him. That wasn't a defensive back within 5-10 yards of him.
Well, we saw him in a jamboree. We saw Independence play, and my opinion, I think Suarez was the better passer of he and Watson. I think he has the better arm, maybe has the better read, whereas Watson may be better at the running the option there. Here comes the inside handoff right there, real quick to Anthony Hurst. Pretty good defensive play there by Quentin Hookman and number 56,
Like number 35.
Looks like Darius Newton.
I'll tell you what, talk about team speed. Kentwood's really looking good on defense. We got a penalty on the play on Independence. Tigers legal procedure. They're going to push him back. They're going to decline here. They're going to have to punt.
Legal procedure call against the Tigers.
I tell you what, we didn't see Joe Harris on that drive, but I've got to believe throughout the rest of the game we're going to see a lot of Joe Harris. Like you said, he had a big week last week. He's our Marshall Falk of Tangipahoa Hope Parish.
Well, if he's got 4.3 speed like Marshall Falk, he's wondering why the scouts on out here a little more.
For the Tigers.
That'll bring up a 4th down. About 8 yards to go, and you know they're going to punt the ball here. 5:50 remaining. We've got number 12, David Lewis, back for the Roos. That punt is almost blocked, but it's a short kick. It's going to take a kangaroo bounce.
Tigers are jumping out of the way of that.
So the Kentwood Kangaroo was starting.
And no pun intended, but it did take a kangaroo bounce, Ben.
You're definitely right. I think Independence kicking team there was a little surprised. Bounced right over the field. They could have touched it and saved about 5 yards on that play. We're going to see Terrell Hookfin. I bet right first play, I bet you we go deep right here.
But whatever happens, it's going to begin and could possibly end with Hookfin. We come out with a wide open attack. We've got 4 wide receivers, 2 to the top of your screen, 2 to the bottom. One comes in motion. That looks like Jerry Taylor, number 32. We got a strong left. He's going to turn right. And the ball is slapped down, broken up by number 88. Rex Gazzardo bats down the pass.
Well, that was just a little look-in pass, and Gazzardo got his hands up in the air just in time enough to deflect the pass by Hookfin.
Gazzardo, all 6 foot 175 as he's listed. He might as well have been 6'6" on that play because he got I think hit him on the elbows. Maybe a little lower trajectory on that ball than maybe he wanted to was Hookfin. 5.5 minutes. We have a 0-0 score. 2nd down and 10. Ball seems to be about on the 43-yard line of the Tigers. We line up in an I. Hookfin around right, and he's going to air this one out. Looks like the receiver might have read up or wrong. He should have stopped there. Looked like 85. Derek Thomas was on a... He kind of split the difference in there from number 12. David Lewis was about 10 yards, and 85 was streaming downfield. That was Derek Thomas. I don't know. He kind of split the difference on that one. I don't know who made the wrong play, the near receiver or the one streaking down the field.
One of them obviously didn't have the right play in mind. That's the old follow the leader play. One receiver goes deep, and the other one cuts up under and hits him. I don't think number 12 went quite as far as he was supposed to.
Yeah, it did look like Derek Thomas should have been clearing out in that situation, but it didn't work. We got like an end around. Boy, I tell you what, Big Joe Harris just nailed him. Oh, goodness. Chris Thompson was the one with the first initial hit and brought him down. That was David Lewis again. Boy, felt the brunt of that hit.
Well, Joe Harris coming in on that side. They're staying at home. They're not getting fooled by all the misdirection of the Kentwood Kangaroos. I tell you what, we got a ball game on our hands right here. Kangaroos going to be punting, and deep to receive is number 4, Marlon Johnson, and he just got that breakaway speed.
And back to punt. Looks like number 74, Richard Holloway, for the Kangaroos. There's the snap. Oh, and the punt's blocked by number 24, Darren Brister. He was untouched. Ben came from the left side, a little breakdown. Looked like something we saw on Monday Night Football with the Dallas Cowboys when they just kind of, instead of holding him up, knocking him off stride a little bit, they maybe shouldn't have released on him so soon because he came in untouched.
They definitely were going for it that time. Kentwood was going downfield on the defensive side, and they just let Independence sweep through the middle there and block the punt. It was 4 guys that could have actually blocked that punt.
But again, that was Darren Brister from the left outside coming on in. And in a game that's good, there's already nothing in a tightly played contest. That could be a very big play in this first half. You give off right side, goes to Joe Harris. I never say die, never say quit, Joe Harris. Drags some of the pile, an extra 3 yards in there. Might have got about 6, 7 yards on the carry. He's an impressive runner. I don't know. I've questioned a couple of people, Mark Willoughby with the Bayou Pigskin Report, John Lenz over at the Daily Star. And you got to wonder what does a guy like Harris have to do to get a little bit more prep, a little bit more press? I mean, the Times-Picayune left him off their list.
They exactly did. I was amazed over at the Times-Picayune. He wasn't even listed in the top 10 rushers in the state, and he's number 1 in the state, actually.
I hope that was just an oversight. Picayune usually does them pretty well down here, up here in Kentwood. 4 minutes to go. There goes Joe Harris, right up the middle. He breaks away, touchdown. Independence goes up 6-0.
Nothing fancy about that play. Independence made all their blocking assignments, and Joe Harris busted a couple tackles to carry him all the way in the end zone. They're going to have to stop Joe Harris. Kentwood cannot continue to let Joe Harris run the ball up the middle like that. He's just a powerful runner and broke a few tackles. Kentwood just a little over-aggressive on that play.
That's reminiscent to what happened last week. They said Harris didn't touch the ball until about the 7th or 8th play, and when he touched it, he went 70 yards. So we're going to try for the point after. The snap, the placement, the kick, it's up, it's through, and it's good.
It's good.
It looked like number 71 for Independence with the kick, Danny Leitner.
Kentwood Kangaroos, 0.
Timeout on the field, Independence 7, Kentwood 0. We'd like to thank Dr. Ned Mortello of the Ammead Chiropractic Center. He's the only full-time chiropractic physician available every day in the northern Hansgrove area. Dr. Mortello is easily accessible to folks from all areas as he's located just east of Ammead City Hall on Highway 16. Dr. Ned Mortello in Ammead.
Well, I think that's what David Kerr was trying to stay away from, Benny. I mean, if they're going to beat you, they don't want. He didn't want Joe Harris to beat him on the 50, 60, 40, 30-yard runs. He wants you to, take a 12, 13-play drive, take a little time. I mean, a couple of plays like that, don't waste much time. And the big results for Independence is not something that Kentwood is hoping for.
I'll tell you exactly one thing it didn't do. Didn't overwork Joe Harris on that play. Only 2 carries on that drive, and he busted one loose. So he's going to be fresh when he comes back and gets the ball in the next possession. Another short kick here. Picked up by number 44, Willis Williams, and he's met hard by number 74. The kicker, actually, Mike Benton.
Benton, I guess he wanted to make amends for a short kick. He went down, hustled down, and made the tackle. I don't think you'll ever see Morton Anderson doing something like that.
I'll tell you what, Mickey, this game's not over. If you remember last year, Kentwood won this game in triple overtime, 31-30, and it's become a pretty good Tangipahoa Parish rivalry.
Well, you got 2 teams. You've got Independence. Of course, they were ranked in the top, number 4 in the LSWA, Louisiana Sports Writers Association poll, and number 6 in the Bayou Pigskin Report. And then you got, this is the hosting Kangaroos at number 7 in the LSWA. So here we go, back to work. The number 7 Roos. Little fancy stepping for Jerry Taylor. He goes over the left end, picks up a pretty hard-earned 3 yards. It'll be about a 2nd down and 7. We've got 3.5 minutes left in the first quarter of play.
Well, Mickey, he just went inside, didn't see anything, went around the left end and picked up a few yards. That was just a good run by number 32, Taylor. Kangaroos just can't lay down here and die right now, Mickey. They're going to have to keep pressing because there's going to be a lot of points scored in this ball game, I believe.
Oh, there's a lot of time left, a lot of football to be played. 308, Hookfin. He's going to follow the lead back of Quentin Hookfin, but that's not going to get him anywhere. That was big. Number 88, Rex Gazzardo with another big play. Also, if there was a defensive back, looks like that's number 32, Trey Pignell, come on in with a big play. So after gaining 3, they lose the 3-day gain plus another. So it's going to be about 3rd down. It looks like it might be about 13. No, I'm sorry. Excuse me. They didn't get nothing on that play. They gained anything. 3rd down and 7.
Well, everybody stayed home once again. I tell you, Independence is doing a good job of staying home. Gazzardo's made a few impressive hits on that side.
You got your wideouts, strong left. From the eye goes Hookfin. He's going to roll right. He's got 47. He has him, oh, goodness, he just completely overthrew it. 47 kind of, it looked like if he just kept streaking up the field, he might have had it, but the ball was so far overthrown by Hookfin. He got a little excited, maybe let it out a little bit too much, but Hookfin stopped running after 20 yards. He might have should have at least kept going for it.
I think Hookfin saw him down. He had the defensive back beat on that side, and Lamont Myers, he just kind of slowed up. Maybe the reason why Hookfin's pass was so overthrown, but they got a little miscommunications here lately in the first part of this ball game. They're going to have to iron out all these problems. I think they just might be a little nervous right now.
But we'll see back to punt again is number 74, Richard Holloway. Let's see if he can get this one off without it being blocked. There's some more heat from the top, and they fake it. And the fake goes to number 44 as Willis Williams goes down, and he rumbles, stumbles, bumbles. Looked like about a 20, 22-yard gain. That's what you can expect to see out of people like David Curry and Kentwood Kangaroos. He's known for this stuff. And you saw him line up. They put 10 men on the line. They were coming after it. They just released the fella, let him go down, and Williams picked up a big game, big play.
Well, I tell you what, I think that was due to the last punt being blocked right there, Mickey. Independence obviously thought they'd come in and get another block, and they let everybody through, and Kentwood threw the little pass over to Williams, and Williams had a nice little pickup of about 22, so now it's 1st and 10 from the 45-yard line.
And Hookman gives to the deep back, Jerry Taylor, who falls forward for a possible 3-yard gain. But that put a little life in the stands, man, and maybe put a little life in the offense of the Kentwood Kangaroos.
I think what Kentwood's trying to do right there, they're going to try to have to establish the run, Mickey. They're not getting any yards on the ground. They're going to have to establish the run so they can open up the passways, because right now Independence is sloughing deep, and they got a lot of defensive backs and doing a good job of keeping all the receivers of Kentwood Kangaroos tied up.
And there we go. Hookman goes down. He has one back. He's back to pass. And he completely overthrows the intended receiver, Will Dunn. I don't know, Hookman's he's misfiring on a couple of them here, and even if the receiver keeps running and everything, he's still overthrowing about 3-4 yards easy.
I could tell you right now, you're not going to overthrow that many receivers unless you're a little jittery. It looks like Coach Currier is a little disappointed in Hookman right now. He's sending in some words of advice into him right now. Hookman's just going to have to settle down and throw his nice little crisp passes that he's accustomed to throwing.
That might be another reason for them going to the run. You know, maybe let Hookman calm down a little bit instead of asking him to do so much so early. From the eye, Hookman comes back to pass. And he's wide, just missed him by maybe 2 feet. There's a double coverage. Looked like Torrance Joseph, who was an all-district player last year. And number 33, Reginald Tofield, on the coverage. And they had David Lewis pretty well covered. That was a pretty good pass coverage. But even better, I think the pass protection by the Kentwood Kangaroos gave Hookman a whole lot of time to air it out, let that one rip about 40 yards in the air.
I tell you what, that was a beautiful pass. Beautiful pass and good defense also. Both of the defensive backs were there covering, and it just went in and out of the fingertips. Just a little bit of the outstretch there for the receiver. And it's 4th and 8, and Kentwood's going for it. Got a timeout by Independence.
Looks like Baggs doesn't like what he sees on the field there. Maybe he was a little bit surprised by the attempt to go for it on 4th down.
It's timeout on the field, and we'd like to thank some of our sponsors. Joe Sinagra's Friendly Hardware Store on Highway 51 in Independence invites you to drop in for a visit and a free cup of coffee every morning. We have what you need in hardware, paints, tools, building supplies, housewares, whatever. All quality merchandise, friendly service, and assistance. Sinagra's is also the place to get your chemicals and farm supplies. Drop in today. We're always glad to see you. Friendly Hardware in Independence. Central Progressive Bank, located in Kentwood and Amite, is here to serve you. Call on us at either branch office for all your financial needs. Compliments of Central Progressive Bank in Kentwood and in Amite. Let us help you at Central Progressive Bank.
Donation $1. It will be given away.
So at the timeout, we'll reset everything for you. It's a 4th down and 8. Kentwood has attempted to go for it. Independence called the timeout to get himself resituated. 1:09 left in the first quarter. Independence leads 7-0 on a 34-yard Joe Harris touchdown run. We've got Terrell Hookman. He's going to line up. The deep back, Quentin Hookman. Big play in this drive. He's back to pass. Looks like he's going to air it out across the middle. Throws behind the receiver somewhat. Incomplete to number 85, Derek Thomas.
It's just a straight drop back. The receiver was open over the middle. It was a little bit behind him, but possibly catchable, and I think it went in and out of his hands there. But Hookman's just not as sharp as he usually is early on in the ball game. Tell you what, this is a good ball game right now. We're going to see staying with Suarez. No, they're coming in. They're staying in with Suarez. So maybe we'll see trips to the side. Maybe we'll see Independence go there.
Ball's turned over on downs. The fake goes. Suarez is going to roll out right, and he lets it air out as he's hit. The ball is picked up by Quentin Hookman. A lot of pressure by number 60, Sean Gray. Sean Gray coming off a knee injury last week. Put big pressure on Suarez, and he lofted up a dead duck. Hookman took it.
Well, just a little mistake right there. Suarez probably should have ate the ball, put it in his back pocket. So he had trips to this side, and the receivers are coming out. Suarez was hit by number 60 and forced the ball up, and in essence brought over a turnover. Nice defensive play by Quentin Hookman.
A big play by the Kangaroo defense, akin to the big play by Independence earlier to stop a long drive. That ball will give to the deep back, 32. Jerry Taylor goes up the middle. I don't think that Hothead Hookman throwing too much right now. I'm kind of trying to reestablish the ground attack. Hookman looks a little rusty. When he came off the field, Courier gave him a few words of encouragement, then walked away. Then he walked back and hollered at him a little bit, maybe trying to push the right button to stimulate young Hookman. We've got 30 seconds left in the first quarter that we may possibly get one more playoff. So far, the excitement has been right in the middle part of the field, other than the one touchdown run by Joe Harris, 34 yards. Hookman in the backfield. Terrell will drop back, and a quick shovel pass to number 32, Taylor. Doesn't fool anybody, but it was a pretty looking play.
That's a nice looking play, but I'll tell you what, just Independence is staying home. They're not moving at all. I don't think they're fooling Independence Tigers defense. The defensive coordinator of Independence Tigers doing a good job of calling his defenses right now.
Independent Tigers, 7.
I think Independence, when they came into the game tonight, they were kind of surprised. Everybody was surprised. They beat a good West Feliciana team that was ranked number 7 in the AAA poll last week. There's some West Feliciana may be down a little bit this year, but notoriously they've been a very hard-hitting, strong defensive club. They've always been ranked high, but they beat them 31-6. So you got to figure that Kentwood Kangaroos were really, last week, were hitting on all cylinders. This week they kind of misfired in the first quarter, come up with a goose egg on the scoreboard. And we'll start the next 12 minutes of play with a 3rd down and 8 situation. They're trying to spot the ball. Looks like it's going to be on about the 43-yard line, the Independence 43-yard line. We have a pretty good night tonight, Ben. It's not too hot. The cold front's supposed to be coming through. That'll help some of this team. Kentwood playing 30 people, dressing out 30 people, and playing a lot of two-way players, as does Independence. So hopefully the guys won't get too tired, and so far they're not. We're seeing a pretty good hard-hit ball game. A couple of mistakes here and there, but nothing to write home about. Again, Hookfin under center. Drops back, rolls right. He has an open field, but he's got a wide-open receiver. In and out of the hands, but it's intercepted. Looked like Torrance Joseph. But in and out of the hands, number 23, Will Dunn. That ball should have been caught, and he should still be running for the end zone.
That was a great play, wide open over the middle. It's just in and out of his hands and to the defender's hands. Number 2, Torrance Joseph. It just looked like as soon as Hookfin gets on target, he doesn't get any help right here early in the ball game. Now we got an infraction clipping called against the Independence Tigers, so that's going to push him back a little bit.
But the Tigers will have the ball nonetheless. And if there's one thing Coach Baglio said they were worried about in a 60-6 win last week, you really don't have anything to be too discouraged about when you beat somebody that badly. But he said they had 12 penalties last week, and 7 of them were on the regular players, not the JV guys who came in, and I think 4 or 5 of them were clipping. So I guess it's the best of a bad situation. You got the ball, but you're going to have 15 yards less than what you thought you should have had it. It's not the kind of field position they thought they'd have, but nonetheless, they started 1st and 10, ball on the 24-yard line. Looks like Derek Watson will come in under center. With the eye back, dot in the eye is the big man, Joe Harris, number 3, gets the handoff, and I'll see you. You might as well write this one off because he just took off a 66-yard touchdown run. I don't think anybody touched him, Benny. He went through that like a hot knife through butter. No problem.
Well, I'll tell you what, he busted through the line and just went right past the linebackers. They were surprised to see him so quick. He hit the hole at full speed. One step and he was at full speed. He just busted through the line. Defensive backs didn't have a chance. He just outran everybody to the end zone. And this is going to be, so far in the early part of this ball game, it looks like a Joe Harris night. I tell you that. It's 2 big plays. He's only carried the ball 3 times and 2 of them for touchdowns. Big runs, both of them.
Well, the state's leading rusher is adding to that very easily. I mean, we've got... we're not even a minute into the second quarter, and he's already cracked 100 yards for the night on, 3-4 carries. So look for a big night out of Joe Harris, and pretty soon you're gonna have the college scouts knocking on Independence door. They're gonna be taking that highway, that ride down the highway as number 71. Danny Leitner gets this one, plows it through also. So Leitner is 2 for 2 on the PATs. Harris 2 for 2 on touchdown runs, and Kentwood is trailing the Independence Tigers 14-0, 11:39 left in the first half of play.
This portion of the game being brought to you by J&D Transmission Specialists. For transmission work you can depend on, see J&D Transmission Specialist in Independence, located at 250 Evans Road near Indian Creek Campground. Compliments of J&D Transmission Specialist in Independence, 878-6692. Also, we'd like to thank Custom Tees and Sweats, 6-color custom silk screening, lettering, airbrushing, monogramming, embroidering. In-store graphics artists, Custom Tees and Sweats, 103 West Thomas Street in Hammond.
Okay, we'll have the kickoff again by big number 74, Richard Holloway. Pretty good kick that time, taken on the run by number 47. And he's big hit, and he's a fumble. Oh, goodness, Mike Benton, excuse me, with the kickoff. Big play, big hit. Lamont Myers with the fumble. Boy, was he knocked hard. Another big play, big turnover here for Independence.
It's got to be discouraging right now for the Kentwood Kangaroos. Lamont Myers had a fine return. Brought it out past the 30-yard line, up almost to the 40-yard line, but he was hit hard and caused the fumble. One of these things you got to teach these young running backs is to hold on to the ball hard and protect it at all times. Looks like we got a timeout on the field. Kentwood's going to try to regroup right here, Mickey. A crucial part in the ball game. As Independence scores here, they could blow the ball game wide open in the early first half.
It's not going to be a pretty sight for the home-standing Kentwood Kangaroos. Should Joe Harris touch the ball again and do anything near what he's done. I think he's rushed, what, 3 times for over 100 yards, so he's got over 30-yard average. That's on top of a 14.9-yard average he had last week rushing. So I don't think they want to see the ball in number 3's hands, and if they do, they want to chop him down quick as possible.
You're watching Tangipahoa Television coverage brought to you by Alessi's, located in 106 West Railroad Avenue on Highway 51 in Independence. They are now in the appliance business. Alessi's has always been known for TVs and stereos and will continue to provide quality merchandise. Now supplying Whirlpool, GE, RCA, and Sony appliances as well as TVs and stereos. That's Alessi's Appliance in Independence. 878-9269.
And back to action we go. That fumble, we just didn't get the number who recovered it, but 11:31 left in the first half. Independence has the ball again, 1st and 10. There goes Joe Harris. He shakes the first one, shakes the second one. He's shaking loose again. Goodness gracious. A big lick laid on him by number 7. That was Richard Holloway that time with the big lick. But he shook that one off, and he danced and drugged the people for a first down. Look, about a 12-yard gain again.
I tell you what, Richard Holloway hit him hard, but Joe Harris just doesn't quit. Those legs keep pumping at all times and broke a couple tackles, spun, and wound up picking up the first down on a very rough 10-yard pickup.
And here comes Independence again. Nothing fancy, just a little smash-mouth football. Give it to the first man through.
32 on
the fullback, number 32, Trey Pigno. He doesn't pick up a whole lot, but just give Harris a little rest. Maybe make you respect everybody in the backfield other than Big Joe Harris.
Gang of 1, we'll call it 2nd and 9.
That'll bring up about a 2nd and 9 opportunity. We've got Suarez in back under center. He replaces Watson on the last play. Not a bad scoring drive registered by Watson on his last drive, but he was in for 1 play. That counts as a series. There goes the first man through, goes to Joe Harris.
Joe Harris
forces the ball forward for a couple of yards. That's going to bring down 3rd down. About 4 or 5 yards to go. Ball, they're inside the 20-yard, inside the 30-yard line, about the 24, 23-yard line.
That was just a power play over to Joe Harris when they're trying to get the lead block to open up the hole. But I think Kentwood's pretty much going to be keen on Joe Harris from then on. He's going to have to earn every yard he gets. They're going to, no matter where he goes, they're going to hit him, I believe.
They usually have one person shadow somebody. They may need 2 or 3 on this one. Because here he goes again, Big Joe Harris. He's wrapped up down below, down low. That's where you need to get him. Grab his feet. He can't go anywhere. So that 3rd down, they picked up maybe about 3 yards. It's going to bring up a 4th down. That time, Richard Holloway did get the better of the thing. He got him by the ankles.
Number 74.
What's 4th and 6, and it's pretty curious to see what the Independence Tigers are going to do right here. They're well inside Kentwood's territory. Looks like they're going to go for it. And,
4th and 4.
I think they're going to maybe go to the pass for the first time in a long time.
And you got a weapon like Harris, may just go right back to him. As they do, he gets it. Oh, he may not have gotten it. That was tough. He was spinning. Looked like he was going to lunge forward. Quentin Hookman came in for a big stick, pushed him back. As the number 32, Jerry Taylor, came in pretty strongly, and they upend him, and he only gets about 2 yards, a yard short. Ball goes over to the Kangaroos.
Well, I think Independence was gambling on Kentwood, thinking they were going to go there, and they just ran a wham up the middle, and Kentwood finally staying at home when they're supposed to, and stopped in there short of the first down. So the Kangaroos get the ball back, and they're going to have to sustain a substantial drive.
I think Kentwood wised up, brought some defensive backs, a strong safety and weak safety up to the line, and just told them to crash the hole when Harris hits the hole. There comes Terrell Hookman. He gives to his big back, Jerry Taylor. Taylor shows you a little fancy footwork as he goes off the right side, picks up, looks like he might have the first down on that carry. If he's not, he's going to be doggone close to it.
I'll tell you what, that was the best run of the ball game so far for the Kentwood Kangaroos. Taylor avoided a couple tacklers and broke a few. Looked real impressive on that run. I think that they're just going to have to keep running and throwing, mixing their offensive game up so they can push the ball down the field against Independence Tigers.
We'll see if some of the receivers can give Terrell Hookman a little bit of help. We've got wideouts, but they give the fake up the middle, and they give the second man through to the left side. Goes, looks like number 20, Taruna Cockerham. Oh, no, that was 20 or 25. We can't see if that was Eric Earl or if that was Cockerham. We didn't pick a number up on that one. That was 20. Looked like Cockerham for us. That's going to bring, that gets the first down. Nothing fancy, just let's get the first to start another 4-down series and see if we can keep the sticks moving. 8-10 left in the first half of play. Independence lining up their defense. They got two guys calling the defense, Robert Powell, number 64, and Mark Dennis, number 85. They decide whether or not to go to 6 DBs or not. The ball on a little misdirection in the backfield is given it back to Taruna Cockerham. He comes inside out and picks up about 4 yards.
I think finally Coach Curry has finally got Kentwood settled down. They're just going to have to do the things they do best, one thing at a time, and don't panic and try to go for the big play right away. Stay within themselves, and let's get a good drive and push the ball down the field. That's 3 pretty good runs in a row by Kentwood Kangaroos.
Well, I think at 14-0, Farrell just kind of tightens up the chin strap and says, let's get to work and concentrate a little bit more before this thing gets out of hand. That's what the Roos are doing now as they have a semi-impressive drive going right here. Hookman on the keeper. They didn't fall for it this time. Oh, the Independence Tigers staying around the ball. Looks like the initial contact was made on the bottom of the pile. We'll see how he gets up there. Marlon Johnson comes running up from the defensive back position. Wraps up Hookman, and company comes, gives him help, drags him down, brings up, so about a 3rd down and long 5, maybe 6 yards.
I'll tell you what, on that play, Mickey, that time Marlon Johnson came up for the free safety spot and just stayed at home, and Hookman just didn't fool him. I think Independence stayed at home for the first time and looked good on that play.
Possible passing situation for Terrell Hookman and the Kangaroos. Looked like one of the guys might have left early off the line, but he didn't. It looks like he's going to ground that one. He got a worm burner on that one, intended for number 47, Lamont Myers. I think if you look at the top of your screen, I think out of the backfield, who was lined up in the H slot, was number 32. Jerry Taylor was streaking downfield. I don't think Hookman picked him up, but boy, he was wide open on the top of the screen, left side of the field.
Well, Hookman just went for the primary receiver that time. The receiver's wide open up the middle, number 47, Lamont Myers. Hookman just misdirected the pass there. Went hit the ground about 5 yards short of the receiver, but it looks like 3 or 4 of the receivers were open on that time.
A couple of 74s doing the kicking. This one, Richard Holloway on the punt. He's that bad snap, and he's going to be hit hard. Real quick in the backfield is number 33, Reginald Toefield. Looks like also number 32, Trey Pigno in on the stop. Looked like he might have been able to get it off if he had some pretty good hands, but I think that's why he's a lineman. His hands aren't as good as they could be possibly in that situation. But he fumbles the snap a little low snap. Might have had it, but he didn't. Nonetheless, here comes Independence again.
Well, Independence obviously going for the block again. It was a little low snap, like you said. Hit the ground first, and the punter had a hard time picking it up and getting it off at the same time. And those big turnovers are hurting Kentwood Kangaroos right now. And here we come back to the action with Derek Watson back at quarterbacks. They're going to keep rotating those quarterbacks, Mickey.
Last time Watson was in, he engineered a one-play 66-yard drive. Now, in the same way he's doing this one, he pitched real quick to Harris. Harris is gang tackled, brought down hard. The initial contact by Darius Newton, 5'10", 190 junior, who may be one of the hardest hitting players on the Kangaroo team. So You get a guy like Darius Newton in there putting some extra licks on a guy like Harris, you'll see if he can't wear him down a little bit. I think Harris is pretty fresh. He didn't have any carries last week. He had 17 carries total last week. He's got a little more work this afternoon, but he's a pretty durable back. He doesn't need a whole lot to get things done, as he's shown you already tonight. Watson under center. Harris lines up in the slot. In the give to the back. That looks like number 32. Trey Pigno. No, it's 33. Reginald Tofield. We're sorry about that miscommunication here. They give it real quick to Tofield, a legendary name in Independence.
Actually, you're right there, Mick. I tell you, that was just a little trap to the left side, and actually Joe Harris had a key block right there to enable him to pick up a couple yards.
Well, you kind of line Harris out there and use him as a decoy and give the ball to the up back. Fool a couple of people, pick up 5 yards. That's going to be a 3rd and 5. 5 minutes and 11 seconds left in the first half. 14-0 Independence. Before the play gets going, we've got flags are flying. Look like someone either jumped or someone, if they're lined up in the neutral zone, they're going to give it to them before the play goes off that much. So it's going to be against Kentwood anyway. So they jumped without lining up in the neutral zone. They jumped pretty quickly. So not that Independence needs any help, but here they get the free 5 spot. It looks like they're going to get a first down inside the 15-yard line, about the 12-yard line.
That was Independence was there, just going to go right up the middle of the gut with Joe Harris to try to pick up the 5. But Kentwood helped them out instead with being in the neutral zone. I think they just lined up in the neutral zone, and now we're seeing 3rd and 1 instead of 3rd and 6. And what's the odds on them going to number 3, Mickey?
I'm not taking those odds. You might ask Governor Edwards about that. I'm not the gambling man. Again, Watson under center. The eye goes to the second man through, of course, Joe Harris. He steps through the line into the secondary, which was not back too far to begin with, but he picks up about maybe 5-6 yards. They're going to move the chains. It's possible for them to pick up the first down without getting a touchdown if they get down to the 2-yard line, but no, excuse me, that was a 3rd and 1. We're sorry about that. I thought the first down was thought they gained the first down on the penalty, but they did not. They just went ahead and got the first down real quick, like 3rd and 1. They convert. Now it's a first down, goal to go.
Looks like maybe we're going to have a timeout on the play. Coach Greer from Kentwood wants to go on the field and talk to his team. They've got to have a hell of a goal line stance right now. We're going to take a break here for some of our sponsors at this time.
This portion of the game being brought to you by Ragusa's Building Supplies Company, located on Highway 51 in Independence at 404 West Railroad Avenue. They have all the building supplies you can possibly need. Ragusa's carries lumber supplies and building materials of every description, as well as hardware items and a complete line of electrical and plumbing supplies. See Ragusa's for whatever you need to build, remodel, or renovate. Ragusa Building Supply Company in Independence. Also, J&D Transmission Specialist, for transmission work you can depend on. Compliments of J&D Transmission Specialist in Independence on Evans Road. See us for dependable transmission work, 878-6692. Many thanks to Central Progressive Bank, located in Kentwood and Amite. They are here to serve you. Call on them at any time at either branch for all of your financial needs. Central Progressive Bank, Amite, and Kentwood.
It's turned into a big turnover for Independence. If they can go in here and convert, a little right side of the line jump.
Flag on the play.
Look like big number 72 for Independence. Look like Chris Thompson real quick on to jump, and number 88 Rex Gazzardo. I think Gazzardo might have told Thompson, or Thompson might have told Gazzardo, hey, what's the count? Yeah, it's on 1, you know. Thanks a lot, Chris. Thanks a lot, Rex, whoever had the miscommunication there, but that helps Kentwood.
No, it's going to be 1st and 15 for Independence Tigers, and look, they were in the power eye formation that time. Well, that's what they are, and they got big number 86 Joe Brown in the back, who's going to probably be blocking for Joe Harris,
aka the Fridge. Looks like there goes Harris on the outside. He sidesteps the defensive back, but he's brought down very quickly by number 11. Terrell, that's Hookfin in there. I'll tell you what, Curry said Hookfin may be one of his top 2 hitters on the team. Boy, he put him down pretty aggressively. He said, Joe, you ain't going anywhere, buddy. You're not going to upstage me on my home turf too much more. So the clock continues to run. We're right about 4 minutes and 10 seconds. Second and goal. Ball looks to be about on the 6-7 yard line. We'll call it the 7-yard line going in. In the backfield again is big number 86, Joe Brown. Toe field, and the give is to the last man through, Joe Harris. He fights and claws his way down to about the 2-yard line. They get in close. They start making Joe Harris work hard for his yardage now.
Which is a power eye to the left side, handed off to Harris up the middle, and I tell you what, he gained all that yardage on his own. I tell you what, Harris is an impressive, strong runner. Early in the ball game, he's carrying 3 and 4 defensive players on his back every time he carries the ball, Mickey.
Well, Joe Harris can do it both ways. He can outrun you or he can out-hit you. That's why I think he's one of the best running back prospects in the state. We're under 3:20 to play. The handoff goes to an easy high step in to the line. Joe Harris with his 3rd touchdown of the evening. He's accounted for all 18 of the 20 points. Nothing really fancy about that, but you just talked about him carrying a pile, and that one he shows I'm going to go outside and show a little speed and get to the pole.
Like we said, he can beat you with the muscle, he can beat you with the speed. He just hit to the outside corner and outran everybody to the end zone. 3:15 left in the half, and it's 20-0 in favor of the Independence Tigers. And big number 71 for Independence. Danny Leitner is going to be in to try the PAT. The snap, the kick, and it's good. And the score with 3 minutes and 15 seconds remaining at half. 21-0 in favor of the Independence Tigers over the Kentwood Kangaroos.
Community State Bank is proud to support local high school football. Over the years, Community State Bank has been there when you needed them, with courteous professional service and dependability. Community State Bank. We'd like to thank Joe Sinagra's Friendly Hardware Store on Highway 51 in Independence. He invites you to drop by for a visit and a free cup of coffee every morning. He has every need in hardware, paint, tools, building supplies, housewares, whatever. All quality merchandise, friendly service and assistance. Sinagra's Hardware in Independence.
Big Mike Benton getting a lot of work tonight. He kicks off for the 4th time. Puts a big boot into it. On the run again. Carbon copy of last time. Number 47, Lamont Myers. And a carbon copy, same exact spot. He's stripped of the ball. And the ball is recovered by Marlon Johnson. Boy, Johnson's everywhere he needs to. We were just talking about how the ball was kind of kicked the same way, picked up the same way on the run by Myers, fumbled in almost the same spot by the unfortunate Lamont Myers.
Well, Lamont's just going to have to put wraps on the ball here, make it hold on to it. He makes 2 good runs, 2 good returns, and both times didn't get anything out of it from the ball. We got an injured player on the field for Independence right now. I can't see who it is. Well, it's number 2. Oh, that's Torrance Joseph. 5'11", 165-pound senior, wide receiver, defensive back. He looks like he'll be okay. He's up on his own, and Luke Suarez is back in the ball game, quarterback in the Independence Tigers. And once we say that Kentwood had to stop the turnovers and quit hurting themselves, they'd do it again.
Well, all the big plays have gone the way of the Independence Tigers. They've given 3 away, blocked the punt. They've gotten 3 from the Kentwood Kangaroos. And true to form, Coach Baggs goes back, rotating his quarterback, Suarez. Man in motion, number 21, Ray Collins. That was all for naught.
Flag on the play.
Reginald Tofield with the give, and their flags all over the place. It looked like, yeah, somebody moved a little bit of illegal motion. That play didn't develop quite like they wanted to.
I think that was almost a busted play. We had some players that didn't know their assignments right there. Had Tofield took the ball and tried to bust it to the outside, pick up the yardage, but Kent was there to stop him, and we're still waiting on the call.
And it will be an illegal procedure. It'll cost Independence 5 yards. So it'll bring down a 1st down and 15 yards to go. 3:01 left in the 2nd quarter. Suarez under center. Blown back, Joe Harris.
2nd and 10, they got to be going in the air right here, and they are.
1st and 15 after the penalty. Suarez, good pass, good catch. He kind of hit him late out of bounds, but they're not going to do anything for it. Marlon Johnson, boy, he's doing it defensively, offensively, quick hands. And Suarez, as we said, you know, my opinion, the better passer. He completes the pass. He picks up almost 10 yards, probably 10 yards for the Independence Tigers. That'll bring down the second down and 6 situation.
Just a little out route there by number 4, Marlon Johnson. I tell you what, Suarez threaded the needle. He didn't give him much room to work with there between the lines, and he hit Marlon Johnson. Johnson wound up picking up a few extra yards. Now it's second about 6.
After the tightrope, here comes Suarez, rolls back. A little bit of pressure, and a good pass. Little curl-in route. Looked like 21. Ray Collins with the catch right in the breadbasket. Couldn't have been a prettier pass. You might have thought Terrell Hookman was passing that one instead of Luke Suarez, but Suarez going to show you his little passing abilities.
Well, that time, number 21, Ray Collins did a little curl route to the inside, and Reginald Tofield broke out and did an out route. So it was almost like a crisscross there, Mickey, and enabled Ray Collins to get open, and Suarez hit him with it. And now it's 1st and 10 for the Independence Tigers at the 20-yard line.
We're having a tough time getting the markers here from our vantage point, but nothing tough about this. He got touched twice on the play. He went through the line of scrimmage. 2 people laid a hand on him. He read it. Boy, he can read his blocks well. He saw the inside block. He stepped it out. His 4th touchdown, all in the first half. Joe Harris goes for a 20-yard touchdown run. 2:05 left in the first. In the last minute and a half, he scored twice for him. Boy, I tell you, that really hurts. Instead of being 14-0, now it's 28-0. Thank you, Joe Harris.
Once again, it's the Joe Harris show. I tell you, you point out a good point. The downfield blocking by the Independence Tigers is really impressive. You don't see a lot of high school football teams that downfield block well. That time, Marlon Johnson did a good job of picking up the defensive back and blocking him in, and Joe Harris broke out and ran it in for the TD. And now number 71, Danny Leitner's up for the PAT. He kicks it. It's not going to be good. He kicks it to the line of scrimmage. No good. I think he hit his center in the butt there, Mick. But nevertheless, now the Independence Tigers have a commanding lead with 2:05 left in the half, 21-7. Independence over Kentwood.
This portion of the game being brought to you by Alessi's Appliances, located at 106 West Railroad Avenue on Highway 51 in Independence. They're now in the appliance business. Alessi's has always been known for TVs and stereos and will continue to provide quality merchandise. Now come to Alessi's and look for Whirlpool, GE, RCA, and Sony appliances, as well as TVs and stereos. That's Alessi's in Independence. Also, Reduce's Building Supplies Company, located on Highway 51 in Independence, has all the building supplies you can possibly need. Ragusa's carries lumber supplies and building materials of every description, as well as hardware items and a complete line of electrical and plumbing supplies. That's Ragusa's Building Supplies in Independence.
Back to the action with 2:05 remaining in the half. And once again, Independence is kicking off. And this time, they got Terrell Hookfin to return the ball. He's picking up the ball at the 20, he's at 25, he's at the 30-yard line, and he's wrapped up hard there by number 74, the kicker, Mike Benton. I tell you what, Mike Benton, the kicker's getting down there making a few tackles on his kickoff. That's two out of 4 he's made.
Benton shows a little hustle in there, boy. He's a big boy, is Benton, 6'3", 255. I tell you, look, he's running 4 flat 40s down here. He's down on every kickoff. I guess he gets the running start. He should be down there, huh? Minute 56. We'll see if Kentwood can't scratch the board a little bit here. We got the lineup down bottom of your screen. Wide out, 83, Eric Carter. Top of your screen looks like 25, Eric Earl. Hookfin goes back to pass. He's got 3 receivers, 2 of them streaking downfield. He's going to tuck it under and try and go. They were well covered. Good defensive back coverage by the Independence Tigers.
86 made the initial hit for the Tigers.
Big Joe Brown comes in, wraps him up. After a gain of about 3 yards, we'll call it 4 yards. It'll be second down and 6. Minute 30, clock still running. See if David Curry can open up a little bit, maybe try and get something on the board.
Well, they're going to have to hit the out routes to get the ball out of bounds and try to score before the halftime. That time, the Independence defensive backs did a great job of covering their receivers, and Hookfin didn't have anywhere to throw the ball.
Hookfin again, he's going to roll to the right, and he hits the receiver, and that's the third, at least the third drop that we've had. That's number 47, Lamont Myers, with the little butterfingers there, but hit him right in the hands. It's a little low, a little bit low. He could have had a little better, but it was more than a catchable ball. You know, Hookfin's not on the money. So he's misfiring somewhat, but when he does hit it, let's catch the ball.
That's exactly right. He's got to get a little help here from his receivers because he's struggling at times, and when he does hit them, it's just going in and out, and they're not picking anything up. Now it's 3rd and 6. That would have brought him into the 1st down, so we're looking at trying to get the ball up to maybe possibly the middle of the field this time, fool the Independence Tigers. We got 5 defensive backs.
They got 2 deep. They're going to give the ball, and it's a fumble on the exchange. The ball from Quentin Hookfin to Hookfin, and it's recovered by Independence. On the bottom of the pile is big number 72, Chris Thompson again, as well as number 53, Tijon Rodriguez. So I was just getting ready to say, at this point in the state, just over a minute left, that's more than enough time for Independence. There was a big 3rd down play because they really needed to make it, at least let the clock run out and not let Independence touch the ball again. You don't want Joe Harris to touch the ball. A minute 3, they can score another 2 times.
Well, I think we're going to see Independence try to go to the end zone. That really hurt right there. They're just that's three big fumbles here.
3 huge fumbles, and they've scored after 2 of them. Let's see if they can make it 3 for 3. Derek Watson back to pass. He sidesteps the defender. He's going to roll right. He's being flushed way out of the pocket. He turns it up. Little fancy footwork. Walks the tightrope on the right side. Darius Newton finally forces him down after about, let's call it about a 15 to 20 yard gain. I wish we could see some some markers here, Ben. We're not having too much luck from our vantage point, but nonetheless, looks like 1st and 10 from about the 22-yard line. 40 seconds and counting. You see the Independence on their 1-minute offense. Joe Harris, the one lone back. They're not going to make anything difficult. They're going to pitch right. Pretty good block. He's knocked out of bounds, taken out hard, but that's a good run. Picks up some positive yardage, 5 or 6 yards, and it stops the clock, most importantly, with 29 seconds left.
That was just a sweep to the right side, and everybody pulled and went with Joe Harris, and he got some good upfield blocking, and he gained a few yards on his own right there. Well, looks like they gave him about 7 on that play, Mickey. So that's a pretty good pickup right there.
2nd and 2 for the Tigers.
That's a long 7 yards. 2nd down. Like we said, right now the clock is the biggest nemesis for David Courier's Kangaroos. 29 seconds. They need to try and stop this ground game. As Watson rolls out left, another missed tackle. He slips another one. He goes through another. Boy, if we had some good tackling, we'd be in a lot better shape if we were Kangaroos. But we had a couple of tackles need to wrap their arms a little bit, maybe get Derek Watson down without going out of bounds. We could have the clock running down. That play took 10 seconds. We got 19 seconds and more than enough time for 2-3 more plays. If they take him down there at the 20-yard line, the clock's still running, and they might just run the clock out. So some key misses by the Kangaroo defenders. Watson, the architect of this drive. His main man in the backfield. His toe field, the up back. There it goes. Joe Harris again, but there's a flag on the play, Ben. Looks like there might have been some holding on the interior of that line.
I think that's exactly what it was, Mickey. I tell you what, that was a nice run. What can we say about Joe Harris? A nice run. He was hit hard. I tell you what, Terrell Hookfin, now playing defense, hit him about as hard as you can hit somebody on a run, and he still stayed on his feet and enabled him to get into the end zone.
Well, I guess we lied on that. It looks like there wasn't a flag down. I thought I saw something thrown in the middle of that line there, but none.
It inverted.
I don't know if maybe an official maybe just lost his hat or something, but I thought I saw something thrown in the middle of the line. Then again, they've been busting holes like that in the line all night.
This portion of the game being brought to you by Custom Tees and Sweats. 103 West Thomas Street in Hammond, 345-4196. Supplier of the Holy Ghost Spirit shirts, and they also give team discounts as well as school discounts. 6-color custom silk screening, that's Custom Tees and Sweats in Hammond. Also, we'd like to thank Central Progressive Bank, located in Kentwood and in Amite. They're here to serve you. Call on them at either branch office for all your financial needs. Compliments of Central Progressive Bank in Kentwood and in Amite. Let them help you with all your financial needs.
Back to live action. Independence will go for 2 to try and even out the score at an even 35 instead of 34, but Derek Watson, that's Harris's 5th touchdown run of the evening. 4 of them have come in the second quarter, 3 of them within the last 3 minutes. And there goes Watson. He's going to tuck it in, and he's going to easily step in. Big block by Trey Pigno. Big number 32, Trey Pigno, with a good block there. Boy, he held the defensive end up. And Watson just stutter stepped into the end zone easily. 34-0, 13 seconds left. And I'll tell you what, if you'd asked me before the game if I'd had 35-0 score, if 35 points would have been scored, I thought it would have been 21-14 or something. I wouldn't have thought all 35 would have been scored by either team.
You're watching Tashville Television. Compliments of J&D Transmission Specialist in Independence on Evans Road. See us for dependable transmission work. 878-6692. Also, Alessi's, located at 106 Railroad Avenue. Now in the appliance business with Whirlpool, GE, RCA, and Sony appliances. Alessi's Appliance, TVs and stereos in Independence. 878-9269.
I think before the game I was talking about Kentwood hitting on all cylinders last week against West Feliciana. Boy, it looks like they misfire on everything tonight. Benton with the kick. The ball's taken by 85, Derek Thomas, right up the middle. He struggles forward.
Derek Thomas.
He approaching the midfield stripe with 7 seconds left. I think if I were David Curry, I would just put a knee down, call it a day for the first half at least, and regroup after halftime and come on back and see if you can't try to chip at this lead a little bit next time.
Well, they ought to be wanting to put it on the knee there so they don't fumble it, Mickey. I don't know if they go on the Hail Mary pass or just sit down on the knee. But Hookfin brings the Kangaroos up to the line. We got a wide out to the far side, to the near side. I formation. Hookfin with the straight drop back. He looks, he's going to go. Nice little out route there by number 12. Nice defensive play by number 3. Joe Harris, the defensive back. Joe's playing, not only is he running the ball, he's playing defense.
And we got Kentwood Kangaroo injured on the play. We see a lot of the Paragon Sports Medicine people run out there. A lot of people with Doc Goodwin staff. Yeah, it looks like it might be some type of knee injury. You never like to see anything like that happen. But with 2 seconds left, maybe they should have just kneeled on it. It might have been best thing for all involved in this play. So as we take a break, Benny, we're going to recap what's happened. 34-yard run in the first quarter. 3:49 left of the first quarter. Joe Harris streaked up the middle. Then a 28-point explosion in the second half. 11:39 left. Harris again. And then don't get tired of this. I hope you don't get tired of hearing the name because you're going to hear it all night long. But he streaked 66 yards right up the middle after a fumbled kickoff by the Kangaroos. And at that point, Danny Leitner booted his second PAT for a 14-0 lead. And then with and then after that, the ball game got kind of tight. It was 14-0. With 3:15 left in, about 3.5 minutes, 4 minutes left in the first half. It was still 14-0. In the last 3 minutes and 15 seconds of the contest, they've scored 21 points as the Independence Tigers, blowing the doors off this thing.
Well, Mickey, I have to agree with you so far. The Independence has just dominated the game, but also Kentwood has given them a lot of freebies. 3 crucial fumbles that all resulted in scores. It's just been detrimental to the Kentwood Kangaroos this time.
So we return the action for the final 2 seconds of our first half game here. Kentwood Kangaroos, Independence Tigers. Back to pass is Hookfin. He's going to complete it out, a little screen pass to the left side to Jerry Taylor. Taylor picks up a couple of blockers. But doesn't pick up much more than about 12, 13 yards. That'll end the first half of play. It's all Independence Tigers here under the tower. 35-0 Independence over the Kentwood Kangaroos.
It's halftime now. We'd like to mention a few of our sponsors. This part of our show is brought to you with compliments of Cook's Cleaners of Kentwood, located at 1410 13th Street in Kentwood. You can depend on Benny J. Cook for reliable cleaning. Cook's Cleaners says, our aim is to please you. If we please you, tell others. If not, tell us. Cook's Cleaners in Kentwood. Also, Ragusa's Building Supplies in Independence. They have all of your building supply needs. Lumber, hardware, electrical, plumbing, whatever you need to build, remodel, or renovate. It's Ragusa's Building Supplies in Independence. Community State Bank is proud to support local high school football. Over the years, Community State Bank has been there when you needed them with courteous professional service and dependability. Community State Bank. The Independence Marching Band.
Well, I'm sweating with that big light.
Well, while there's a break between bands, Representative Buster Guzzardo joins us here on camera. Ken Benitez, along with the Tangipahoa television crew at Kangaroo Stadium in Kentwood. Obviously, the Roo fans are disappointed. We want to thank our friends, Buster, here at Kentwood High School, especially Principal Ann Smith, for all their hospitality tonight. And I promised Ann a copy of the tape with the score 33-0 at the half. I'm not sure they still want it, but it is available. And I want to also say again, we appreciate their help in making it a pleasure to do the ball game tonight. Even though I have a son in the band at Independence High School, Steve, and Bill, my oldest son, is filmmaking for Coach Baggs tonight. We're both a little biased in favor of Independence, but we'd better be nice in Kentwood because we're dependent on their hospitality right now.
Well, you know, I really do appreciate Miss Ann Smith and her staff for the hospitality they've shown. As you know, this is my district, also, you know, my representative district, and these people have been real nice to me, and I want to say thanks to them. And we really are enjoying the game, although right now the Kangaroo fans are a little disappointed at the score, but I'm sure they understand that at least they got some good sportsmanship out there.
That's right, Representative Guzzardo's District 72 now meanders over a 5-parish area, including the Kentwood area. Anyway, Buster, we have a lot to talk about today. For example, the legislative session, the Constitutional Convention in Baton Rouge, may draw to a premature close. And if that happens, maybe most folks will be happy about it.
Well, I think the majority of the constituency in the state of Louisiana feels the same, that we should go ahead and end it up because nothing is really coming out of it, because nobody wants any more taxes at this point in time. And I don't think that any tax structures are going to be passed out of the legislature. So it'd be best that if we just hang it up. Now, there's a couple items that proposals that was finished up today on not tax, but cuts and spending, and trying to put a cap on all the spending that we're doing. And I feel that if the people see that we're trying to cut the spending and not be loose with the money and get rid of some of the waste, then I think that we'd have a better chance of asking the people to vote for something to help the school and help education.
Buster, would any of these spending cuts affect Southeastern or any other institutions in our area?
Well, in one proposal they had it where they wanted to make the MFP take it out of the Constitution, but that's not going to happen because we're not for it. And I don't think any legislator would vote for that, to do away with the MFP formula in the Constitution.
Buster, moving down the line, we have other things to talk about, like hurricane relief for your constituents. I know you're working on several key areas there.
True, Ken. What we're doing is trying to get some help for the fish plants. You know, with the power outages that they had, they lost in the neighborhood of $30,000 worth of fish.
That's ADP Processors in Roseland.
That's correct. AD Processors in Roseland, and they're trying to get some help, and we've been working on that to get them some help with that loss that they had, because, you know, Reggie Perot and Henry Chow has been really doing a fantastic job. Got about 50 people working there, and they're getting more business from out of state. I understand now they're even going out of the country and getting some fish business. So we need to try to help those kind, and I know with the help of the governor and the rest of the legislators that we can help them get some money.
What kind of assistance is available for an industry like the catfish plant?
Well, the kind of assistance they got right now would be a loan with a low interest rate to help them with their problem. But what we need to do is get some monies for them for the losses through the federal government where there won't be any interest charged. And that's one of the things that we're working on right now.
Buster, what about other after effects of the hurricane? We're still talking about Andrew this month.
Well, as you know, there's still a lot of people that don't have any power, but I want to take my hat off and give thanks to the Louisiana Power and Light Company for the job that they did real well, trying to restore power to the people that really needed it, and the ones that didn't have it, they were trying to get it all done. And I think, all in all, I think in Tangipahoa Parish that we're well pleased, and I really want to say thank you, Louisiana Power and Light Company, and all the staff and the men and the women that really got out and worked to try to restore all the power.
Buster, anything new on the effort to reopen the steel mill at Amite, a project that you've been very close to?
Well, we're still working on that, Ken. We're still waiting on the courts to decide whether these new people that are interested in it wants to buy it, whether the coach is going to go ahead and give it to them. I understand there was some rumble about their previous owner is not satisfied, and he's trying to, I don't know if he's trying to come back to buy it or what he's trying to do, but I feel like it's going to work.
So you're still an optimist on the local investors reopening the steel mill in Amite?
Oh, there's no doubt about it. I've talked to one of the investors this past week, and it seems like they're still interested, and they're just waiting to see what the courts are going to do.
What else are you working on these days?
Well, what we're working on is trying to do some road building. We're having some problem with some roads. Like right now, I've talked to the district engineer at the highway department. LA 40, you know, we don't have any shoulders on that road going east from Independence towards Kentwood River. And what's happening, if we don't put some shoulders in there or try to do something to stop the erosion, we won't have a road there pretty soon. So things looking up. I think we're going to get something done about that. And we're also trying to get some bridges built that needs to be restored.
Buster, thanks a lot for joining us. Representative Buster Gazzardo here at the half in this rather lopsided ball game so far between the Roos and our own Tigers in Independence. Ken Benitez here. Spec McClendon steps in to tell us about our sponsors for tonight's broadcast, including Representative Gazzardo. Thanks for sponsoring the ball game. You're watching Tangipahoa Television. It's halftime with Independence Tigers leading 35 to the Kentwood Kangaroos 0. This has been an exciting game, and we'd like to thank our sponsors. Joe Sinagra's Friendly Hardware Store on Highway 51 in Independence. He invites you to drop by and visit for a free cup of coffee every morning. We have whatever you need in hardware, paints, tools, building supplies, housewares, whatever. All quality merchandise, friendly service, and assistance. Sinagra's is also the place to get your chemicals and farm supplies. Drop in today. We're always glad to see you. Joe Sinagra's Friendly Hardware in Independence. Once again, Representative Buster Gazzardo, best wishes to the people of District 72 from your state representative, Buster Gazzardo. Dr. Ned Mortello in Amite of the Amite Chiropractic Center is the only full-time chiropractic physician available every day in the North Tangipahoa area. Dr. Mortello is easily accessible to folks from all areas as he's located just east of the Amite City Hall on Highway 16 in downtown Amite. Call 748-8877 today for an appointment with no obligation. Most insurance accepted, free consultation, and a free spinal exam. Dr. Ned Mortello in Amite, the Amite Chiropractic Center. Also sponsoring tonight's game, Customs Tees and Sweats in Hammond, Alessi's Appliance in Independence, J&D Transmission Specialists in Independence, Ragusa's Building Supplies in Independence, Community State Bank, as well as Central Progressive Bank, Sinagra's Friendly Hardware, Amite Chiropractic Center, and Representative Buster Gazzardo of District 72. Stay tuned for the kickoff in just a moment in the Kentwood versus Independence High football game.
All right, we'll return to the second half of play now after a very interesting halftime performance by the Kentwood Kangaroos. 35-0 is the score. Independence dominating the ball game thus far. The kickoff by number 47, Lamont Myers. And it's going to go deep. It's the first time it kicked off today. That's a heck of a kick down deep inside the 10-yard line. Ball looks like it's picked up. And still going. Looks like number 24, Bristol, or let's see who that ball carrier was.
Looked like Bristol on the carry.
Looked like number 24, Darren Brister, picks the ball up. After having bobbled it inside his own 10-yard line, rushes the ball out past the 30-yard line. That's where Independence will set up shop. Well, the first half was the Joe Harris show. We've said it before, said it a couple of times. He had 5 touchdown carries. He averaged 25.4 yards per carry. That's only on his touchdown runs. He had 127 yards on 5 carries. That's just the scoring ones. That's not counting the other ones that he's been in on.
What was that total, Mickey?
5 carries, 127 yards on his touchdown, but on this one, Luke Suarez, the inside handoff to Reginald Tofield. Tofield, not the speed of Harris, but just enough to get him out there. Pretty big 25-yard gain, 24-yard gain. Tofield with the inside handoff from Luke Suarez, who's opening the second half at quarterback.
Reginald Tofield.
Pretty big run by Tofield. He wants to pump his average up to Joe Harris-like numbers. So that's not the kind of play you want first play out of the half. If you're David Curry at Kentwood, you don't want to, you just got finished preaching about let's stop the run, first run. It's not even Harris that gets, the big pickup. So this time Harris not even on the field. Well, he's in the line up in the slot. That one goes into Derek Watson. Oh, excuse me, Ray Collins. He goes east-west instead of north-south, and he's drugged down pretty quickly there by number 74. Big Richard Holloway loses about 3 yards. Second down, about 13 yards to go.
And Mickey, I just got a score in from the Hammond-Brother Martin game in the middle of the fourth quarter. It's Hammond 14, Brother Martin 10.
Big surprise down in Strawberry Country. I think almost as much a bigger surprise here. Luke Suarez under center. He pulls the give. He's coming around right in. Pretty big block by number 1 there. A little inadvertent face. Don't know if it was advertent. It looked like it was inadvertent. Suarez gets taken down pretty hard by number 23, Will Dunn. He fumbles the ball. But you saw the head snap, and you saw him go down, and you know it's going to be a face mask. It's a matter if it's 5 or if it's a 15.
And we were guilty of face mask.
I don't think that was intentional right there. He's just a little over-aggressive on the play, went for the tackle and grabbed the mask and turned Suarez's head around a little bit there, a little twist of the neck. But, yeah, it looks like it's going to be, yeah, it's unintentional, 5 yards or 10.
Sometimes even if it is unintentional and they give such a violent jerk, they'll go ahead and tack on because of the looks of it being as if it were intentional. I think that was the case in this situation. So it was a big pickup by Luke Suarez around the right end. Pretty good call, pretty good read by Suarez. He pulled the ball right out of Joe Harris's gut the last second. Came around right in, got a big block by Anthony Hurst. It's first down, 10 yards to go on the 20-yard line. Broken play. Suarez gets another 8-9 yards on the pickup. He turned around to go to Joe Harris, but Joe wasn't there. It looked like he run side by side with Harris. So it'll be a second down and 2. 10 minutes and 9 seconds to go. If you're Kentwood, you just don't want to see it. Before the game, Dave Curry said he didn't want to get beat by the big run, the big play. He wanted to make them grind it out. Well, Independence has showed that they can grind it out, or they can be the lightning quick type of scores. And this play here goes with the pitch left. Tofield dragged down by number 12, David Lewis. He came up real quick, squished the run real successfully. Clock continues to run. 9:36. So that lost about, let's call it 3 yards. It'll be about third, long 5 yards to go.
Well, looks like Independence is just going to try to run a few of the other running backs here. Give Joe Harris a little breather, but when it's clutch and it's third and long and it's 3rd and 4 right now, it's pretty safe to say that Joe Harris is probably going to get the ball in this situation. Suarez fakes a handoff, and he didn't run it. He ran out the veer there, a little option, and didn't make any good judgments at all. Harris up the middle with the dive, and he had time to make the pitch and pitch it over to Tofield, and Tofield had yardage to run.
And that was big number 63, James Brown, in on the tackle. He pulls Suarez down.
You call it 4th and 5, loss of 1.
Maybe got to the original line of scrimmage, if that much. It's 4th down. We'll see if they go for it. I tell you what, Lightner looked like he's a pretty good, despite the last one he drilled into his own center's backside, he has a pretty good boot on there. I thought they might try the field goal, but not. Suarez back to pass, the fade to the corner, and out of the hands
intended for number 1, Anthony
of number 35, Quentin Hoofkin on the coverage, and Anthony Hurst.
Good defensive play there. Just went in and out of his hands. A little fade route to the corner to number 1 Anthony Hurst, their primary receiver on Independence team, but good defense for Kentwood. And Kentwood gets the ball 1st and 10, so maybe a little change of tides in the second half.
I apologize, that was Derek Thomas on the coverage, but a little glimmer of hope, if there's any glimmer to it at all, but nice to stop the drive and not to have them run the score up anymore. Hookman right up the middle goes 32, Jerry Taylor. I don't think they're going to try and chance it too much here. I think if I were David Curry, I'd pretend the game wasn't 35-0, and I'd just start practicing running my plays, trying to come back and be as crisp as you can and try and improve on the second half.
Well, Mickey, what you probably do in this situation is you say, we're playing for this quarter. We're going to try to beat Independence in the 3rd quarter. Then we try to beat them in the 4th quarter. And if you're lucky enough to be close at the end, you got a shot. But you establish goals that you can acquire, and that'd probably be it right now. Try to win the 3rd quarter.
Hookman gives it a deep back is Jerry Taylor. He's hit hard. Looks like big 72, Chris Thompson, with the initial hit. With some slight help there by number 77, Big Joe O'Neill. And I think Thompson, though he delivered the blow, may have suffered the worst of it. So with the time out on the field, 7:33 left. I think if you're Kentwood, I think what you do really is you just come out and you use this as practice time. Go ahead and start just running your plays like you normally do. You're down 35-0. Hey, like you said, if you're lucky enough to win the 3rd quarter, hey, let's see what we can do with the 4th quarter. You can cut a couple of touchdowns into this. You're going to make Baggs is a nervous type anyway. They could score 1 touchdown, and Baggs is going to get nervous. I mean, that's how competitive he is. But like I said, I think you just use this time to go ahead and just run your plays and just do your offense, and don't be afraid about, you're down 35-0. Don't be afraid about losing anything else.
And then the main thing for Independence here to do is try to avoid injuries, try to avoid the big play. That's they want to stop the big play where Kentwood could score, immediately on a 1 or 2 plays. Well, we're big number 72 for Independence. Chris Thompson was injured on a play, and he's helped off the field. And now in his slot is T. Rodriguez, big number 53.
Hookman rolls right, steps up. All his receivers are covered. Flushed out of the pocket. Good pursuit. Good tackle from behind. Looks like number 53, T. Rodriguez. And I think 64 might have been in on that, too. But that was Robbie Powell also in on the stop, dragging Terrell Hookman down from the backside. 4th and 1. And I like David Curry is calling this. Hey, why punt the ball? What can you lose?
Right, exactly. We're down. We're going to go for it and try to make this play and get the confidence flowing in our kids. That's probably what he's saying at this time. And he's got his big backs in there right now, Taylor and Hookman. So good power eye play over the middle, and that's exactly what it is. And he picks up 3, and that's enough for the 1st down. So momentum's starting to roll, and they have to do things right here to where they can just, like I said, get goals that they can acquire. So it's 1st and 10 now at the 27-yard line.
That's a good call. We'll call the 27-yard line. I tell you what, nice playing field. This is about 2nd, 3rd time I've been to Kentwood. Really nice, kind of rustic under the tower over here. But when it comes to marking the field, buddy, I tell you, my boy Warren Istove and Hammond can do it.
You can't beat it. The lines are nice and white, and you can see the big line markers.
Okay, we go back to the power eye with 2 wide outs. Hookman drops back. He's got 1 guy in the flat. He's going to be flushed out. See if he can use his speed to get the outside. But he can't get by Marlon Johnson. There's that number 4. Number 3 and 4 for Independence have done really big plays this year, tonight. But not before Hookman can pick up about 11, 12 yards and get the 1st down.
Hookman had number 85, Mark Dennis, open down the sideline on the right side. He didn't spot him quick enough, but he picked up Derek Thomas down the right side, and he just tucked the ball under and ran it and got the 1st down. Now it's 1st and 10 from the 39-yard line.
And the quarter is fast and going. 5:39 left in the quarter. Tried a little misdirection. And Taruna Cockerham dragged down hard.
I'm going to tell you what, Marlon Johnson's impressive offensively and defensively. He's always at the right place at the right time. He's the kind of guy that you want to lead that defensive team. You don't beat him with the bomb. He doesn't give it, and he's up there to make the hit to line of scrimmage, and he's even sacked the quarterback a couple of times. So he's had a great night tonight. Number 4, Marlon Johnson for the Independence Tigers.
I think he's learning from the 2 seniors, Anthony Hurst and Torrance Joseph, who are all district people back there. And Marlon Johnson's just a junior, so, he's learning really quickly. Single back, Hookfin and Hookfin. Quentin gets the ball. He's met at the line of scrimmage. Plugged the gap real well there is number 88, Rex Gazzardo, right there in the middle of things. Gazzardo's kind of small in stature. He's 6 foot 175. But boy, he's all over the field. A little quick lineman there.
He plays hard. I tell you what, he gets after it every play. Not a real big kid to be on the line, but he'll hit you and give you everything he's got.
Makes good use of his quickness. 4.5 and counting. The score remains 35-0. Independence over Kentwood. 3rd down and 9. Big play here. Let's see if Hookman can get it. The end around. He's going to throw the ball. David Lewis repeats the pass. That's back to the quarterback, Hookfin. You saw that one working out well. Benny's howling in the air. He said, watch the quarterback coming out in the flat. And sure enough, he hits him.
Well, just a little end around. And the end picked up and threw back across the field to number 11, Hookfin. I tell you what, and it really didn't even fool Anthony Hurst. He was there, just the pass went above his reach, and Hookfin made a nice grab. Probably could be a pretty good receiver after seeing that. And he ran good once he got the ball. Now it's 1st and 10 from the Independence Tigers 35.
And that was a big 30-yard pickup. 4:09 remaining in the 3rd quarter. We got wide outs. Derek Thomas down low. The ball's given right to Jerry Taylor. Taylor's going to drag one of the Independence defenders with him. Again, there's our buddy, Marlon Johnson again. Making a sure tackle. Marlon Johnson listed as 6'1", 170. He looks a little bit thinner than that. I tell you, but he's hitting a little harder than that.
I think they're waiting with his pads on. He's playing great defense once again. I tell you what, he hit the big running back there, and he rode with him for a few yards before he dragged him. That's because he hit him up top, but I think he's played excellent defense tonight.
He may be our defensive player of the game, and we'd have to debate a little while on who the offensive player of the game might be, but whatever. There goes Hookman, rolls left. He gets his man in the flat. Complete to number 83, Eric Carter. Looks like Reginald Tofield on that one. When he turned, he thought he took the bait for the long, and he twisted an ankle as he turned around to try and cover Carter going long. Carter did the out. And now you see Tofield going out. He's kind of limping on that, looked like his left ankle.
Just a nice little out route there, and Hookfin did a good job of hitting his receiver at the right time. As soon as he broke, the pass was a little low, but the receiver did a good job of picking it up. So now we're going to two receivers to the left and 2 to the right.
The clock just strikes 3 minutes left. Give up the middle to number 44, Willis Williams. Rambles to the end zone. That looks like about a 15-yard touchdown run. And hey, Ben, you said something about short-term goals. There's one right there. 6-0 3rd quarter. Only 6-0 3rd quarter. 35-6 overall. But that gives the fans of Kentwood a little something to cheer about.
I'll tell you what, Kentwood did what they probably should have been doing the whole game. They took their time. They had a devised drive there. They passed and they ran a few mixed plays. The extra point's up, and it's going to make it. Oh, barely made it over the uprights. So now the score is 35-7. But like I was saying, Mickey, it was a good, well-executed drive by Kentwood.
This portion of the ball game being brought to you by Ragusa's Building Supplies, located on Highway 51 in Independence. They'd like to remind you that they have all of your lumber and building supplies of every description, as well as hardware items, electrical and plumbing supplies. See Ragusa's for whatever you need to build, remodel, or renovate. Ragusa Building Supplies in Independence. Also, J&D Transmission Specialists for transmission work that you can depend on. See J&D Transmission Specialist in Independence, located on 250 Evans Road, 878-6692. J&D Transmission Specialists.
So with our score 35-7, 2:51 remaining, Kentwood gets on the scoreboard. Boy, if you'd have told me before the game, I wouldn't have think that it's waited until the 3rd quarter to score, especially this late. But the kickoff goes, and the bounce, it's fielded. Looks like number 24. There's a fumble on the play. That's what Baggs doesn't want to see, but I think Independence fell on the ball. The big run by Darren Brister. Brister trying to fight for the extra yardage. As he turned, he swung around. The ball slipped from his hands, but the fellow teammate there to recover the ball.
And the winner.
I guess if Kentwood drops that ball, Independence gets it. That's how the breaks have been for Kentwood so far this game. They've given the ball up, I think, 3 times on fumbles. They've had 1 blocked punt, and they've also had an interception. So it's been tough going for Kentwood. They're not getting the breaks. Didn't get one there. But they did have an impressive, I think it was an 80-plus yard drive, resulting in a 15-yard touchdown run by Willis Williams. Cuts a 28-point lead. Derek Watson under center for you. He gives up the middle to the fullback, 32, Trey Pigno, who maybe gets a yard at best, maybe a yard, possible yard and a half.
Well, Coach Bagley here just wants to run a little time off the clock. Probably get the rest of the third quarter off here. Just a little handoff up the middle to the fullback, Trey Pigno, and the clock still continues to run just like Coach Bagley would like.
And from the broadcast side of things, we just like to see the clock run too. Makes for an early night out for us. But again, they give to the second man through, Mr. Joe Harris. He picks up his block. He goes inside. He eludes 2. Drags another one for about 8 yards. Man, is he just a strong, handsome-looking runner. But I tell you, he just doesn't quit. He read the block well. Hurst was riding the block. He kind of go outside. Hurst missed the block a little bit. He dodged one defender. Got inside another one, drug another guy for 8 yards. So he showed you a little bit of everything. How he can read his downfield blocking, the speed to the outside, the ability to read not 1 but 2, the stutter step to move his guy, and then he drags another one for another 8 yards. So you see a lot in one run out of Joe Harris.
Excellent run by Joe Harris. Like you said, a little bit of everything. And as our viewers see right in front of us, he's a powerful runner. Take a few of the guys for a ride.
This play almost stood up 24, Darren Brister goes through. Again, Richard Holloway hits the initial hit in the backfield. But Brister fights forward. He goes for about a 5-yard gain. Good hard running by Darren Brister, taking a few cues from Joe Harris.
I think we're looking at the heir apparent to Joe Harris. Brister's only a freshman. That was a nice run by Brister. You're going to be seeing a lot of him the next few years in Independence, and they're counting on him to be the feature back for the Independence Tigers. You know, they've always had a feature back, one that picks up the big yardage, and he'll be one in the future.
And before we get the timeout, looks like number 44 on the field, Willis Williams, our touchdown maker for the Kentwood Kangaroos. Looks like he might have taken a little blow to the head, something in his eye, a little poked finger, or maybe just grass, who knows. But looks like he might be all right. Looks like he might be all right. He's on the sideline. We're back to action. As you said, dot in the eye, number 24, our freshman, Darren Brister. Trey Pigno, 32, also in the backfield. And before we can get the play going, a little offsides. Stepped into the neutral zone was number 60, Sean Gray, for the Kentwood Kangaroos. It's been a penalty-free game. We've been pretty fortunate for that much. No time stoppage, not too many penalties. The biggest one being the face mask call against Kentwood earlier that wound up not hurting because they wound up stopping them on downs, and then Kentwood proceeded to take it in about 80-something yards for their touchdown drive. But that stops the clock. We started up after the set, a minute 17 of the third quarter, 35-7. First down and 10. To give to the second man through, and he's met by a host of Kangaroos. Right at the 35-yard line, down goes Darren Brister. Looked like Sean Gray got in on that one. He might have been quick and cost him 5 yards last time, but boy, he met him head on that time.
Well, he's hurting right there, number 24. He's shaking up. It looks like Kentwood Kangaroos wasn't going to let the freshman run on him that time. It's like, welcome to high school football, Mr. Brister, on that contact. Number 32 for Kentwood Kangaroos, Jerry Taylor, and a host of Kentwood Kangaroos hit him at the line of scrimmage and hit him hard. Now it's 2nd and 11.
Looks like the blitz is on. But regardless, Watson pulls it out the way. And is tackled hard on the sidelines. Stop the clock, 24 seconds to play. Looks like he got just about the nose of the ball, maybe to the 30, not quite. But that'll bring up a third down. About 7 yards long, 6, possible 7 yards.
3rd and 7.
Derek Watson should have given that one up the middle. I don't know if he was looking for that much action.
I tell you, man, you're right. He took a tough hit right there by the out-of-bounds line and did a good job of popping back up and saying, "Hey, you didn't hurt me."
And a good Complimentary pat on the backside from Coach David Currier. Again, dot in the eye. Back in the field is Joe Harris. Before the play could get off, may have been a little bit of motion, or maybe someone jumped on the Kentwood Kangaroo side. We'll know something in a second.
Well, Mickey, I tell you what, we're getting a little sloppy here. Flags getting thrown all over the place. I'm seeing laundry flying from all angles. But that's what we don't want to see. First half is just turnovers, but right the second half we've seen a few mistakes.
I think when the ball game gets to 35-7, people lose their intensity, lose their concentration somewhat. Sometimes you get them just start substituting some people, but I really don't see too many substitutions on either side of the ball. A little more on the independent side, of course, when you're on the upside of the 35-7 score. Here we go, 3rd down and 12. That backs us up somewhat. The ball give to Reginald Tofield. Swung down hard, number 74, Richard Holloway on the defensive play. That'll bring down a 4th down and about 11, maybe 1 yard gained on the play. A little inside handoff, the H guy.
They'll give him 1.
Tofield.
So they call it 4th and 11 for the Tigers.
And that'll be the last play of the third quarter. And Benny, if you're going on your judgment, hey, Kentwood 7-0 for the third quarter. Independence 35-0 for the first half. As within the last 12 minutes, 35-7, Independence Tigers.
Community State Bank is proud to be a supporter of local high school football. Over the years, Community State Bank has been there when you needed them, with courteous professional service and dependability. Community State Bank, a bank to depend on. Also, Alessi's, located in Independence on Highway 51, is now in the appliance business. They will continue to provide quality merchandise at competitive prices, now including appliances, Whirlpool, GE, RCA, and Sony, as well as TVs and stereos. Alessi's in Independence, 878-9269. Now back to live action here in Kentwood Stadium.
Just a reminder, everybody, that if you would like to sponsor a ball game, maybe you have a suggestion for a game to add to our schedule, call us at 878-2265, 878-2265.
Thank you, Ken. We go back to fourth quarter play. Watson with the roll right. And he's got a big man open right off of his fingertips for number 86, Joe Brown.
Joe Brown.
Had a little bit of Keith Jackson looking about him. Boy, if he'd got that, he'd have rumbled, stumbled, bumbled all the way down the field. But he was going to take one more extra lick. It looked like from the deep back was number 11, Terrell Hook. Hookman kind of gave him an extra blow, and he's coming up. The deliverer is getting the worst end of that one.
Well, it looks like Hookman tried to hit him a little bit after the fact. His momentum carried him into him, but kind of mistake to hit number 86, Brown, because he's carrying a big load with him. And tell you what, he's also had a great defensive game tonight.
Well, you got Joe Brown, 6'2", 260. You got Hoofkin, he's about 170. That's about 90 pounds difference. I don't think I'd want to be swinging at him in any way, shape, or form. But that turns the ball over to Hookman. He shows no ill effects of that lick. He gets the ball out in the flat to David Lewis, who runs for the first down, picks up 12. So after the 4th down, they stop him on downs. They turn around and they get the sticks moving in essence. See if they can win this one. They might win this one 7-2, but you know they win the battles. But Independence looks like they're probably going to win the war.
Well, I'll tell you, like, also one way to look at it, if they do win it, at least they finish up the game on more of a positive note. You know, 35-0 is pretty rough to overcome, but they're showing a lot of poise in the second half, and that's one of the components of a good team. They can bounce back and come and play after the fact.
I think another good thing to coaching that you don't quit, no matter what the score is. Quick play, quick throw out to David Lewis again. Lewis downfield to a wide open Lamont Myers. Boy, and I tell you what, Joe Harris laid David Lewis out. I wasn't so sure that ball from my vantage point. I kind of thought that was a forward pass, but he stepped back in the backfield. It's as if it were a lateral. And Lamont Myers goes streaking down the right side for the touchdown.
Well, Mickey, that was just a little side toss to the first wide out, first receiver, the end receiver, and he stepped back behind the quarterback to make it an option pass. They're going for 2, and oh, he's got it. Number 11. So number 32 for the Kentwood Kangaroos, Jerry Taylor. Hook fin to Taylor to get the extra point. Now it's 35-15, and Kentwood's doing well in this early part of the fourth quarter.
Well, this has really livened the fans up tonight under this beautiful full moon here in Kentwood Stadium. We'd like to thank one of our sponsors, Joe Sinagra's Friendly Hardware in Independence. He invites you to drop by for a visit and a free cup of coffee every morning. They have what you need in hardware: paint, tools, building supplies, housewares, whatever. Quality merchandise, friendly service, and assistance. Sinagra's is also the place to get your chemicals and farm supplies. Drop in today. Sinagra's Friendly Hardware, Highway 51 in Independence.
There's a touchdown maker, Lamont Myers. Tees it up. The deep man for Independence, number 3, Joe Harris. They try and keep the ball away from him possibly, but no, the ball is going to go directly in the middle of the field to Joe Harris, right at his 10-yard line. He goes right side, picks up a couple of blocks, reads them well. Barrels over. Looks like number 44, Willis Williams, comes up with the tackle at the 40-yard line after a 30-yard run back for Joe Harris. Boy, Joe Harris, he was about to take that one to the thing too, but looked like 21, Ray Collins.
I'll tell you what, Mickey, if I'm kicking, I kick it away from Joe Harris. I don't know about you. I'd rather kick it to the onside kick because Joe Harris can hurt you. He just does not quit, Mickey. I'm impressed. After the initial hit, he keeps pumping those legs. That's the things coaches look for, to see the back continuing to run and run hard. And he picks up that 3, 4, 5 extra yards after initial hit. So we got that injured player on the field. We got a official timeout. Looks like he pulled a muscle or a little Charlie horse, like you said, or maybe cramps. And they're trying to take care of that over there right now.
So we got 11 minutes left in the contest. After the 50-yard hook fin to Lewis to Myers. Sounds like a double play, but that was a touchdown scoring play.
And a word straight from Strawberry Stadium in Hammond, Louisiana. The Hammond High Tornadoes lead 14-10 with a minute left in the ball game.
Well, we're pulling for our Tangy partners up the road. The ball given to Joe Harris. He's knocked back. Big play. Big number 60. Sean Gray held him up before the rest of the defenders came along. Darius Newton with a big stick. Maybe they should have been holding Harris up like that early in the game, knocking him back a little bit, putting a little hurt on him, wearing him down a little bit.
Well, I think Kentwood's intensity level has really risen in this part of the fourth quarter. They scored a little bit, and they got things going their way. And I'll tell you what, that was probably the best defensive stance against Harris so far in the ball game. They really hit him hard, and it took not with just 1, 2 men hit him.
One guy stood him up, 2 men hit him, 10-20 left in the contest. Suarez with a quick pass, and it's stripped. No pass.
It looked like number 35 for Kentwood. Quentin Hookfin took it away from big number 86, Brown. But the referee's rule is incomplete pass. And as the man in the press box says, our public address announcer, the referees tell it like it is here in Kentwood, Louisiana.
You get some of these hometown announcers, and they really put on a show for us.
He's done a great job tonight. I tell you what, I enjoyed listening to him tonight.
We might have to hire him. Get a 3-man booth.
That's exactly right. He'd be a great addition.
So the play was stopped. 10-12 left in the contest. 35-15. Looks like Independence is coming apart a little bit. The game, as you said, getting a little bit more sloppy. Luke Suarez, no reason for that one. I mean, the play was stopped. You had more than enough time to get it off. I think Baggs is on the sidelines kind of, seeing it kind of unravel a little bit. Good thing he's got the 35-point lead. Now it's down to 20, so he better watch out. 10 minutes and 12 seconds. More enough time to put some points on the scoreboard. I mean, heck, Independence put 21 points on the scoreboard and with about 4 minutes left in the contest. So nothing's impossible with these two teams, especially the offensive firepower of the Kentwood Kangaroos. A little dipsy-doodle pass. That's an interception. And a fumble. No, they're not going to give it to him. I think they should have given him that one. I thought he might have been juggling a little bit. It's tough to say. We'd like to play it on the replay, but we can't do that for you.
The only thing I could say is he maybe didn't have possession when he came down. But from this angle, it definitely looked like he had the INT with the fumble, which would be beneficial for Kentwood. But anyway, looks like Independence is 4th and 14, and they're going to have to punt. And if Kentwood's got to score regularly and often right here pretty quick. They're going to have to score just about within a minute or 2 minutes of every drive to make it any kind of contest.
Well, it's been 3 years since Independence beat Kentwood. Kentwood's not some of these players who play for Kentwood have never lost Independence, so they don't know what it's like. Back to punt. Big 64, Robbie Powell with a high booming punt, and it's a fumble right through the breadbasket. Oh, David Lewis let it go right through his fingertips. And looked like Trey Pigno picks the ball up and runs all the way for the touchdown, but once the ball hits the ground, if it's a dead ball, you can't advance it at the high school level. Well, oh God, every time Kentwood's dropped the ball, a Tiger's pounced on it.
In this portion of the game being brought to you, compliments of Central Progressive Bank in Kentwood and in Amite. Central Progressive Bank in Kentwood and Amite is here to serve you. Call us at either branch office for all of your financial needs. Kentwood and Amite branches of Central Progressive Bank. Let us help you.
So, Benny, instead of having 10 minutes, almost 10 minutes left and 20 points behind and some positive things, this is like a long pass. They set up shop on the 40-yard line. The give is to Joe Harris. They're gang tackling with authority now.
Harris and hooks in, number 35.
It looks like they're just calling upon the defense to do the job, and they did it the last possession. They're just going to have to do it again right here. They're going to have to stop Joe Harris and company and come up with a big play. Hopefully they're looking or possibly looking for a turnover at this time. They got to get the ball back quick and score quick.
Well, that punt had all the makings. That's just like a long completion.
Exactly.
You know, because they get 30 yards off of it. And worst of all, they get to knock time off the clock. If you're a Kangaroo fan, you don't want to see that. And the I formation again. Derek Watson pulls his troops. He's going to run to the left side. He keeps it. Maybe he should have pitched it, but maybe not. Hookfin.
Oh!
Quarterback to quarterback there. Terrell gets the better of it. Drags down to little Derek Watson. Maybe about a gain of possible about 2 or 3 yards. We've got 8:54 left in the contest. It'll be 3rd down and about 5 yards to go. We'll see if the Kangaroo defense can't stiffen back up. And my partner in crime on the right of me, Benny, says that after he pulls the radio from his ear, that Hammond pulls a minor upset. Some people might think it's a major upset, but Hammond pulls a big win at 14-10 over Brother Martin.
I'll tell you what, that is a big win for the Hammond Tornadoes and Coach Billy Taylor. The young Tornadoes had a big test tonight against a well-coached, well-disciplined, good Brother Martin Crusader team from New Orleans, Louisiana. We got a little disturbance in the stands over here. Nothing serious. Timeout on the field. But like I was saying, Mickey, Hammond came away with a big win, and now there's a big game next week brewing, and I know me and you will be there next week in Strawberry Stadium for the rejuvenated rivalry of the Hammond High Tornadoes and the Amite Warriors. Hammond High is 0-2 in the last 2 years of playing Amite.
Well, tonight we're in the process of seeing a 3-year losing streak. Independence to Kentwood snapped. And we'll see what the Hammond Tours can do next week. That'll be our game of the week. We also have Albany and Springfield next week, so we have a doubleheader going for you next week. As we get back to live action, 8.5 minutes left in the contest, 35-15. Big 3rd down and 5 situation, 4th quarter. Full house backfield. The give is to Harris. He sneaks up. He gets a big 1st down. He's still running, slashing, cutting, power running. He just bulled his way. He just kind of stepped through the line real gently like. Sideways, turned around, put a big D in somebody, got a little leg lift, looked like Nelson Royal of old WWF or something. And then he just proceeded to go another 10, 15 yards, and I think that might be the final one.
Mickey, I tell you what, Joe Harris, he's just hard to stop play after play. He's got great balance, which a running back needs. He gets hit, and he still keeps his footing and being able to change directions and keep moving.
He's got like a hunger that just won't let him quit. 1st down, 10 yards, ball on about the 15-yard line. The give is to Joe Harris over the right side. And I think after coming unraveled for the 3rd quarter, not scoring anything, and maybe kind of sitting back on the laurels a little bit, Kentwood put 15 quick points on the board on a 4th down punt. David Lewis lets it go through his fingers. Trey Pigno picks up the fumble. So instead of having Kentwood coming, with the offensive machine working with 35-15, 10 minutes, maybe they've scored another one by now. You never know. It might be 35-22 game, and then you got everybody really brewing over what might be another triple overtime barn burner like last year. Instead, the big turnover goes to Independence. Independence driving the ball down with the help of Joe Harris. Big offensive line. You can't say enough about the offensive line either. We're not sure who that is down. That's Joe Harris down. So as we speak, I'm sure the whole Independence crowd's cheering that he's up, and I'm sure the whole Independence coaching staff, can get a breath of air now.
Well, it's definitely hurt the Independence Tigers if Joe Harris goes down, and I think we'll see Kentwood. Tell you what, Mickey, Kentwood's just gonna have to bow their necks right here and play good hard nose defense. They're going with the power eye right now, and Suarez at the quarterback.
With the full house backfield, it's like Reginald Tofield, the feature back. He gets the call, gets the carry. Pretty good play there by David Lewis, trying to make amends for earlier. And Clifford McCray, number 71, with the big hit. But I think maybe after seeing Harris go down, I don't know if I'd put him in 7 minutes to go. You might put him in here, get the score, and let him call it a night.
Well, I'll tell you what, if you're doing anything here, they're just trying to help his averages and his point total on the year. He's well above anybody possibly in the state this time. I know he has got to be over 200 yards this time, don't you think, Mickey? And 4 touchdowns, 5 touchdowns. So he's had a great night tonight. And it's up the big refrigerator, John Brown. They give it to 86, Independence's version of the refrigerator, and he barrels his way over for about a 4-yard pickup.
I think Joe Brown just soon turned around and said, "Joe, the next one's yours."
Exactly.
I'm in this line enough, on both sides of this thing, and I just soon attack the ball instead of be attacked. But I think they're going to keep Joe Harris in, really try and get a score. I'd go ahead and get the score and get it over with and try and put the final nail in this coffin, because 35-0, we thought it was over. They scored 15. The clock is the biggest factor right now, 6:16 and counting. The pitch goes to Joe Harris. He does a little stutter step. He goes outside, and Terrell hookfin. I tell you, hookfin, and before the game, Curry was telling me, David Curry, our Kentwood coach, said, I think he might be my second best hitter on the team, too.
Well, yeah, when he's in the game on defense, it definitely makes a difference. But can Kentwood enable him to play both ways and wear himself out where he affects himself offensively? Since he's been on defense, his presence has been known by the Independence Tigers. He's made quite a few stops and been there to deflect a few balls and almost come up with a key interception.
So now we've got 2nd down, goal to go. Ball rests on about the 5-yard line.
Too much.
And don't know if that was too much time again. And I think Independence is going to take a timeout on this play also.
We got timeout on the field. Delay of game penalty on the Independence Tigers, and Independence called timeout, and they want to talk about it.
We're under a beautiful full moon here in Kentwood Stadium with timeout on the field. The score, Independence 35, Kentwood 15. This part of our show is being brought to you with compliments of Cook's Cleaners of Kentwood, located at 1410 13th Street in Kentwood. You can depend on Benny J. Cook for reliable cleaning. Cook's Cleaners says it's our aim to please you. If we please you, tell others. If not, tell us. Cook's Cleaners in Kentwood. Also, Dr. Ned Mortello of the AME Chiropractic Center, the only full-time chiropractic physician available every day in the northern Tanspro area. Call 748-8877 today for an appointment with no obligation. Most insurance accepted, free consultation, and free spinal exam. Call Dr. Ned Mortello, 748-8877.
I think you saw Coach Baglio getting on the official at that point. You'll normally have to give him 10 seconds from the point in time he raises his hands to the time he stops it. But I think, like you said, Ben, he may have forgotten to give the signal, the proper signal.
I think that Coach Baglio was letting him know about it, too.
Back to action. Watson pulls, goes around right in, and he's close. He's in. Touchdown. Good call, good read by Derek Watson. He's the option guy. Suarez is the pass guy. Both have excelled tonight. And as a result, we've got 41 points on the board for the Tigers, 15 for the Roos, 5:17 left in the contest. That might have been the one.
I'll tell you what, you're exactly right. He faked the ball off to the inside to Joe Harrison. I think everybody looked for Joe Harrison. He ran around the outside to score. I'll tell you what, this Suarez-Watson combination is really working well for the Independence Tigers. I've not been in favor of running a two-quarterback system, but Coach Baglio here shows it can be done, and he runs it effectively. One runs the ball and one throws the ball, and they both can do a little bit of each of the other. And they go for two and get it up the middle. Joe Harris with the PAT, and Tigers move on to scoring 43 points. And they're leading 43-15 with 5:17 left in the ball game. Mickey, I want to tell you what, I want to thank Mark Willoughby for giving me, for handing us out the stat sheets. He's the editor of the Bayou Pigskin. I tell you, have you take a look at the Bayou Pigskin this week?
Yeah, he's done a good job. It's been a quick two weeks, really. He's been compiling things, and Mark's to be credited for trying to get the people in the state, not just our area now. I mean, this is a statewide thing that he's endeavor that he's engulfed himself with. I mean, there's a lot of stuff. He's got a fax machine that's nonstop ringing over there. So we wish him the best, and it's a pretty good thing. And if you want to know more about it, call Mark Willoughby. I think he's in an Independence phone book. I'm not sure.
Yeah, well, I think it's 542-4964. He gave me the stats before the game, so I want to be appreciative to him at this time.
Okay, so we're back to action. The kick, a short one, goes to number 83, Eric Carter. Oh, and if he stands up, maybe he could go, but he doesn't. Tripped up. I'm looking around to see if Benton was around on that one. The kicker, Mike Benton, has been on most of them, but he went around for that one. If he doesn't stumble and fall into his own man, he might still be running. But he's into Tiger territory at the 45-yard line. We've got 5 minutes, 10 seconds to play. 43-15 is the score. Independence.
If we're going by quarters, it's a tie ball game right now at 8-8 in the fourth quarter.
But David Curry would like to take a score like you.
I think so. But Kentwood's just going to try to get a little lanyap here toward the end of the ball game.
Hey, try and make it look respectable. Hook fin to pass. The receiver, good pass, lot of zip. It's complete to Derek Thomas on the left side. Nope, not Derek Thomas, excuse me, Eric Earl, number 25, not 85. So Hookman, a lot of composure. He stood there in the pocket a second, felt a little heat, did a little scramble, still had the presence of mind to stand up and hit the receiver. It looked like the DB he had 6 points on his mind.
Well, I'll tell you what, he showed a little zip on that pass, Mickey. He hit the guy on the outside part right by the sideline. I'm surprised the receiver didn't step out of bounds right there or force himself out of bounds with the defensive back to stop the clock.
I don't know who that was, if it was Marlon Johnson, number 4, or number 2, Torrance Joseph on that one. We'll try to step in and get the six-point interception, but it didn't happen. Hookfin back to pass. Quarterback draw. And he's drugged down pretty hard. His shoulder pad comes out. All that by Big Joe O'Neill, number 77.
Well, it was just a little quarterback draw up the middle, and he got no room. The Independence defensive line collided with him at about a 2-yard gain, and we're going to see Hookfin go there right now. It's it's second and 10.
That scoreboard's wrong on us, but right at the 20-yard line. Hookfin is going to roll around the right side. He's got a lot of room. Not as much as he thought. He's pushed out of bounds aggressively by number 60, Jarvis James. And it looks like he may have put him into the fence on that extra shove. I don't think it wasn't intentional by any means. It was just a good hard shove, but the configurations.
To the fence, Mickey.
You think both of them did?
Yeah, I think Tofield's got up a little faster, but they're down attending to quarterback Terrell Hookfin right now. We can't get a good view from our angle.
Third down for the Kangaroos.
I kind of thought it was Jarvis James on number 60 that put the push. Maybe I was wrong. Maybe it was Tofield.
15 out.
But the clock stopped. Gosh, we really hope the best for Hookfin. Hope nothing's happened to him. You see the coaches all down there. Our Paragon Sports Medicine people are down there. We have a stoppage of play at 3:52. left in the game.
We'd like to thank one of our season sponsors. You're watching Tanspro Television, and sponsoring one of these wonderful high school football games is Custom Tees and Sweats. In Hammond, Louisiana, 6-color custom silk screening, lettering, airbrushing, monogramming, embroidering, in-store graphics artist, school and team discounts. Supplier of the Holy Ghost Spirit shirts. That's Custom Tees and Sweats, 103 West Thomas Street in Hammond, 345-4196.
Back to action. We've got a new quarterback, David Lewis, number 12. The fake to the give to the first man, fake the first man, give to the second man, 32, Jerry Taylor.
I'll tell you what, that was just a nice misdirection play, and Taylor picked up the yardage, but also on that tackle was number 86 for Independence, Joe Brown. I tell you what, Joe Brown's made his presence felt tonight. He's really put some licks on some of the opposing running backs.
Both on offense and defensive side of the ball. He's been a lead blocker as a fullback a couple of times, and
even as a receiver, he's hit a few of the defensive backs and knocked him.
Hookman for one. He tried to lay the lick on him earlier, and speaking of Hookman, he's back under center. Stepped out for one play to regain himself. The clock runs, 3:25, 43-15. First and goal, ball down inside the 10, but not for long, as Joe Harris, Mr. Harris, comes back for the defense. Hookman very upset with his pass protection. He's barking a few extra words at some of his fellow players. Hey, give me some help here, guys.
Joe Harris just ran in there uncontested and put a nice little lick on Terrell Hookfin. Yeah. And it's second and about 12 right now, and Hookfin brings the Kangaroos up to the line. They're I formation. He drops back. He's rolling to his left. Throws to the corner to fade route to big number 85, and it's intercepted by number 21 for the Independence Tigers, Ray Collins, and it was just a little timing route, and he didn't get it quite up high enough. Seemed like a big number 85 for Kentwood Kangaroos. Derek Thomas had the defender by about 3 or 4 inches, Mickey, but Hookfin just didn't get the ball up high enough, and looks like the Tigers are going to bring in Suarez, probably just try to run the clock out now.
Well, I think on that play, I think Hookfin he never took his eyes off the first receiver, and he just kind of threw it right into coverage. He was well covered, and it proved so with the INT. So 2:40 left, the turnover. Ball comes out to the 20. First and 10 for the Independence Tigers. Luke Suarez under center. Joe Harris still in the game, surprisingly, but maybe not so surprisingly. I'm not so sure. So timeout taken by the Kentwood Kangaroos. Looked like they were shy one man on the field. They only had 10 people on the field, so they're forced to take a timeout. I'm not so sure I'd take the timeout. They let them play with Tim. What more harm could be done?
Well, it's just a matter of ticks rolling off the clock here, Mickey. Independence has got this one pretty safely in the bag at this time. They're just going to try to get a few running plays off and run the clock down. I don't know exactly how many timeouts does Kentwood have. I don't think they've had any. They've had one in the second half, so well, we're not exactly sure.
You're watching Tanspro Television coverage of Kentwood versus Independence. We'd like to remind everybody to listen to 90.9 KSLU FM in the morning for the news report with Ken Benitez.
Back to live action. Suarez looks back to the official to see if it's okay to go ahead and proceed on, and it is. Give it to the bread and butter, the play that's worked so well so many times tonight. Give the ball to Joe Harris. Let the big men up front block for him. See what happens. Saw something in the press box on one of the scouting reports for Independence. Said something about we haven't beaten these guys in 3 years. Let's not make it 4. And it says it's been 10 years since an Independence team has started 2-0. I find that kind of hard to believe. I think they must have had a 2-0 start somewhere in the last 10 years, but I'm not so sure. So regardless, Independence will start now 2-0 and wipe away that not so happy streak. Fumble by Joe Harris, one of the few mistakes he's made tonight.
I think they called it down, man.
I'm not sure what happened on the play. They haven't signaled who's going to move. Kangaroos have the ball. There's the signal. So the Kangaroos are going to get a little something extra to show the fans who have stayed long enough. They get the ball first and 20. Minute 52 left in the game. It's all Lanyap from here, but a little bit measure of respectability. Maybe to get the last in your face. We'll go to the Kangaroos instead of to the Tigers.
It's just a matter of pride right here, trying to put something on the board and make it a little bit more respectable at this time. Kentwood hadn't really just got blown out here, like the score indicates. They defeated themselves with all the turnovers.
Well, a good team like Independence will take advantage of those turnovers. The pass in the flat to Jerry Taylor goes incomplete. But we'll have to keep an eye on the polls next week and see how far Kentwood may drop. You know, they were number 7 in the LSWA poll. And the Bayou Pigskin report, I don't know who does the voting in that. I don't know if Mark ranks them himself or he gets a compilation of sports writers throughout the state. There's another player down, Kentwood Kangaroo. Looks like it's possible just a cramp, we're hoping. Looks like it. Yeah. But it's going to be interesting to see what happens to the 1, 2, and 3 teams in the AAA and the AA action tonight. You got A-Meats playing. They're number 2, and I'm trying to remember who the other two are. Jennings.
Mansfield, the team that defeated A-Meat last year, and then we got A-Meat, then Jennings, then the Independence Tigers, I believe. I tell you what, Independence is definitely going to have to move up. They're not gaining a lot of respect in the polls, even though they're ranked 4th. I really think that Mansfield lost a lot, but they still have a good team. Jennings has a pretty good team, and A-Meat, so they're all 3 notch. But I tell you what, it's going to be a dogfight in the 6th game of the week when the Independence Tigers and A-Meat Warriors hit head on.
And we're hoping to bring that game to you guys. Back to action, minute 47. Clock starts. Hookfin still under center. Quentin Hookfin, number 35. Roll out right does Terrell Hook. Ball goes out of bounds, well overthrown. So 2 plays, 2 passes, brings up a 3rd down and 10. This may be the longest 2 minutes of the game we've had so far. We breezed through the 3rd quarter, can't complain there. Last couple of minutes of this game is going to go on a little bit. But Vince, been nice doing the first game with you.
I enjoyed it, Mickey. I tell you what, I was really had high hopes just being a shootout ball game. If Kentwood could have held over the turnovers, it probably would have. But once again, I'm impressed with Joe Harris.
Back to pass goes to Hookfin again. Gets the back out of the backfield is Jerry Taylor.
Marlon Johnson on the play again, Mickey.
Intended for. The back came out streaking. Look who's there. Our buddy, number 4. I guess if we had to pick a defensive player of the game, I'd pick Marlon Johnson, number 4 for Independence, and we had to pick our offensive players. I think that's probably the most obvious pick of the year.
I think we're going with 3 on offense and 4 on defense. I think that's sums it up for us tonight. Marlon Johnson's played extremely well on defense, and once again, another fine performance by Joe Harrison running the ball. Just got to be one of the premier backs in the state of Louisiana.
So it's 4th and 10 from the 20-yard line. Kentwood obviously going to go for it. 1:31 remaining in the contest. The snap. We have a blitzing from the outside. The ball is passed in the flat to David Lewis. Lewis cannot outrun
Big Joe Brown right
Joe Brown. Boy, I tell you what, I bet he could get roped that doggy.
I tell you what, I have to think that Joe Brown is going to be some kind of college prospect. I don't know what position he plays so many, but he's pretty quick for 260 pounds and 6'2" or 3" like he's listed. So there's a lot of positions Joe Brown can play. He was very impressive on that play, chasing down the running back from behind. So with 1:20, looks like it's all academic here, Mickey, and the Independence Tigers are going to run the ball out, run the time off the clock, and proceed to go down south to Independence, Louisiana.
So in the backfield on the center again, taking his turn, is Derek Watson back in. They're just going to probably kneel on it, crowd around the ball, see what they can milk the clock down. And I'm kind of along the same lines as you, but I like to take a quarterback and let him be your one man. You got to go to one man, develop him as a quarterback. But the Independence coaching staff, Baglio and company, they've done a fantastic job. of letting both these guys, Watson and Suarez, know, hey, you guys are going to play. You know, there's no animosity between the two. I'm not sure of that, but apparently on the playing field it's not showing. And everything clicks from one to the other. It's just like an interchangeable part. You got to be able to like that. It's kind of like a basketball team that can fast break you to death or that can set up a half-court offense. You know, if you put the 85 Laker fast break with I guess the 84 Boston Celtic front court, you know, it's about what you're looking at.
Tell you what, you're right. What they do is they complement each other. Both of them do what they do well, and they don't make any mistakes and run the Independence offense when they're in there to their perfection as far as passing or running, and both of them have really been exceptional tonight.
Well, that'll do it to it. That's 15 seconds left in the contest, and once again, the final score tonight, Independence Tigers 43, the Kentwood Kangaroos 15. For Benny Latino, I'm Mickey Trish. We're going to sign off with Tangible TV Talk. Don't forget, next week we got doubleheader action, Albany and Springfield, and Amy Eaton Hammond. We'll see you next week, folks.
You're watching Kentwood Television, and tonight's sponsors making this game television possible has been Community State Bank, State Representative Buster Gazzardo, District 72. Cook's Cleaners in Kentwood, Sonagra's Friendly Hardware in Independence, Central Progressive Bank in Kentwood and Amite, Alessi's Appliance in Independence, Ragusa's Building Supplies in Independence, J&D Transmission Specialist in Independence, and Amite Chiropractic Center with Dr. Jed Mortello, as well as Custom Tees and Sweats on Thomas Street in Hammond. Tonight's game, play-by-play provided by Benny Latino and Mickey Trish. On camera, Butch Lee with vivid video, and Kim Benitez with commentary. This is Speck McClendon signing off under a full moon in Kentwood High Stadium, Kentwood, Louisiana.